This is a full guide for how to start and build a web design agency in 2026. In this video, we will cover how to choose the right niche, 5 ways to get clients, how to do outreach that actually gets conversions, how to build websites like this one, how to actually get results for your client, and how to scale along the way plus more. I use these exact same systems to close 5K plus deals and build MRR inside my own web agency, plus already help so many others do the same. Most people trying to start a web design get stuck. They spend months learning the design tools instead of actually getting clients, competing with thousands of freelancers on price and just racing towards the bottom. What should be a real business turns into years of trial and error with no results, staying stuck in their 9 to 5 along the way. And if you don't want to end up in that position and build a successful business instead, without wasting thousands of hours figuring out what to do, then this video is for you. You will also get a 36-page document with everything included inside that also has a step-by-step checklist with the same scripts I use, so that by the end of this video, you know exactly what to do. Now, we have a lot of content to unpack in this video, and I thought, well, since you have to put up with me for a few hours, why not give you a little bit of backstory and a bit of context about who I am and why I'm doing all of this to begin with. Now, my name's Cameron Jeans. I'm from Australia. You've probably come to this video either from some sort of lead magnet from another video or short form. Maybe this is the first video I've ever seen. Maybe you've been watching me for a while. I don't know, but hello, how you doing? I appreciate you taking the time to at least check it out. But me myself, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I know everyone says this, but I have literally tried every business model. Now I'm only 20 years old. I am a young duck, okay? Don't get me wrong. I understand that. From a very young age, I was never, I always understood what the traditional system was in life and always knew that that wasn't for me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I said to myself, I'm going to be a rock star. I'm going to, eventually wanted to get into filming, which is cool that I can use my camera still in my business now. I kind of just fell into the online business space from watching videos, getting inspired from others, talking to people that have talked to people that do this and this. And I always just thought, it just amazed me. I thought, wow, this is fun. Like, yes, cool, the money's cool, but just running businesses and systems, working with clients, having flexibility, being able to travel and work anywhere from your laptop or your phone and not have to clock in every day just absolutely blew me away. Even before, like I said, even before I understood like what work was and what real life's all about, I just always knew, nah, we are doing it different, boys and girls. Like, we are doing this different, okay? And we did. Like, I kind of, I grew up in what I call like a fun high school. Wasn't a smart school, as in, like, you don't really go there to, it was in our local area. We went there and all of the boys, all of us, we went there to that high school and, we got along really well, had a lot of fun, but none of us really had ambitions for, graduating. Well, some of them did, but, going on and doing uni and other stuff like that. And I definitely didn't have that. So I kind of dropped out. I can't remember if it was year 10 or 11. I think I technically got my year 11 certificate, but I wasn't really, because I was enrolled, but I wasn't really there for a bit. Anyway, I didn't kind of finish year 12, never went on to do any sort of uni or college overseas or whatever. Went and worked full time for a year just because I knew, all right, well, whatever kind of venture we're going down in this whole online business thing, and I was always trying, I was actually trying stuff throughout high school as well. Thought no matter what we end up settling on and going all in on, we got to have some money, because you need a little bit of money to make money, or at least like I need some sort of safety net. Like, I'm going to probably go months or however long without making $1 because I'm trying to learn the skill, I'm trying to use it, get my first clients, portfolio, grow from there, whatever I do. And I need some money to live. So that's what I did. Saved up at least like 5 figures or something. I don't really know. It wasn't that much really. It went pretty quickly. And then it was there when I was working full time, but I was also trying stuff on the side. Now, my big one at the time was trading and was making a bit of profits here and there. Nothing too crazy though. And when I originally quit my job, that was the thing I was going to go all in on. So doing Forex trading, I was fully in on that. I jumped bush to bush on everything when it kept failing. So from drop shipping, trading to growth operating, which I'll get to because that was, I guess you could say, a win. But like literally fucking everything, guys. Like, if I didn't start up a business in it, I at least learned everything you need to know to try and, like, dip your feet. Anyway, I was so obsessed. I thought, nah, we got to make this happen no matter what. Kind of first little breakthrough though was doing some growth operating stuff. So if you don't know what growth or growth partner, there's different names. So if you don't know what it is, basically you a nobody, find someone who is a somebody. So someone that has a lot of followers or some sort of authority, and you help them put systems in place to make them make more money, usually by selling a course or doing something, and you take make a commission of it. I got lucky landing some kind of clients in there, got a few connections, got my foot in the door. But something that, like, a skill that it always came back to, a skill that I always was using and was the foundation for everything we were doing in business and selling whatever, was websites. And after a little while, I actually got a referral from one of my clients to someone just for a website project, not to do any growth system or sell nothing, like just a website for her business. And I did that, got paid $2,000, and I wasn't doing any sort of agency or promoting publicly. I'm doing websites. This is just, knowing someone and here you go, can you do this for me? And doing some family and friends and stuff. But that just opened my eyes, like, wow, this is something, like, it wasn't even that hard. I was like, fuck, I just got paid $2,000 for this. This is a day's work. Like, that was nothing. So I kind of fell into it pretty easily, and it just made sense to me. Like, I don't like business models that are out of your control. For example, when you do drop shipping and the stuff with tariffs and you got like supplies and your ad account's always banned and all this stuff. Not saying that you got 100% kind of stress-free, nothing can go wrong with an agency. But I just felt all of the different variables that can make a successful and sustainable growing business. Web design agency just made sense to me. And over time, I kind of learned more and more. But anyway, we'll get into kind of where then we ran into the fails. So I thought, all right, yep, we can make money. I know how to do it. Let's get into this. I then learned very quickly that it is not that fucking easy. You don't just say, all right, I'm going to sell websites and everyone's coming to you, knocking on your door. Oh, can you do a website for me? No. And you guys know that. You guys watching this know. This is, at the start, it is not an easy business model. Nothing is really, but we all think the grass is green, and that was why I was jumping from business model to business model. But I thought, no, I've had enough. I've jumped around. This is the first business model that I've seen that actually looks sustainable to what I want to do and just makes sense long term. I'm going all in no matter what. And I went like months, man, without getting anything, like not only big roles, but like just struggling for responses, nothing. I had no foundation at all. But as they say, practice makes perfect. The person just wakes up every day and goes and goes and goes. Like, you do everything in your power to work towards your goals. You basically need to make it impossible for you to fail. And that was my mindset every day waking up. And my little breakthrough, because here was the thing, guys. By then, my money from working full time and trying to save up to go all in online business did run out, and I was really struggling. And I was like, okay, let's just get this one website project. If we can get one project, I'll have enough money, I can get by, and I can really put some things in place. I can invest here and here and here, and it will be good. But the problem was, when I was so fixated on the financial goals and not the business goals, I could never progress, because all I was doing was working in the business and not on it. And in that part was like, kind of doing outreach, but I was outreaching with nothing in place. I was outreaching with no credibility, no authority, and a few other variables that obviously go into outreach. But it wasn't until I stepped back and had a look and thought, all right, no, let's change our goals right now. Let's not try and close a deal or have a financial goal. Let's try and build a proper foundation. Let's make sure we can have a page that shows authority. Let's make sure we can do this and this and this, and I'll get into that in this video. But but after spending a month or two just taking a step back and looking at our whole system and looking at things and pictures from the perspective of the business owners that we're trying to reach out to, it made sense that we were going to be stuck in this loop for ages. So we did that. We improved. We made some more improvements, and clients started coming in. At first, they were still very inconsistent, and then got more consistent. And then we found a few strategies, which, and I want to say up front, this video is like everything you need to know about starting and beginning to scale a web design agency. But I will admit, and I'll be open for this, the strategies that I show are a little bit different for what I do now, because what I found is if you try to put kind of scale strategies or systems into a beginner agency, it won't work. There is kind of different levels to it, and inside Web Agency Club, that's exactly what we do. We make sure you go through it properly, and we're not just getting you, all right, get you your first client and then say, all right, you made your money, goodbye, we're moving on to the next person, whatever. Like, no, we actually want to help as many people as possible grow a long-term, successful, and sustainable business, especially with how we have to kind of evolve our offer over time as well, with AI and different things happening. It's very time sensitive, and we're very kind of hands-on with the approach of making sure we do things properly, so you don't burn out in an agency or have an agency that just isn't sustainable. I say that a lot, but that's really the main thing. Like, what's the point? Like, you're just going to have to, like, you might make a little bit of money, and then you're just going back to your original position, and then you say, oh, this business model didn't work, it's a failure, and then move on, okay? Just for a bit of context right there. But that's honestly my story. So I'm going to shut up now, but basically to give you a summary, always knew, and I want you guys to relate to this. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you can relate to this. You always knew, or it might not have been from a super young age, but even by now you realize, all right, the traditional system, and I want to point out as well, me from Australia, the traditional system is just what you do. You know, I'm not saying it's unheard of to go out and start a business as an Australian, but compared to other countries, I feel like Aussies, or Australians, no offense, we're kind of always a few steps behind. But I saw that as an opportunity, you know, in my marketing to finding clients. I guess you could say a little bit less competition, and also with the time zone stuff. But back to the point, I'm sure a lot of you watching this right now, and thank you for sticking by this part. I know this part isn't really the valuable part of this course, but just a bit of context on who you're getting the information off, because that's the important thing. You're getting a lot of information. I kind of like that I'm not a big YouTuber right now, because it's obvious. Not saying you can't make money with my group I've got, but I don't think I've made my money back yet from the investments and time I've done on it, to be honest. It's more of a passion project at this stage. The way I see it is, all right, we reinvest and do everything to get our members results, and the money long term will come. But right now, it's just all fully funded by my agency, because that's what I do. And I try to lead by example and showing my clients and my work rather than the screenshots, because yes, those screenshots could be real. Just because someone says, oh, look, I'm refreshing it, look at my Stripe dashboard, I'm refreshing it as real, doesn't mean, like, well, what's the source of that money though? Is it your course, or is it from your agency? That's why, yes, I do it sometimes for a thumbnail or just for a bit of proof, but I try to lead by example. But there's a lot of bullshit online, and you know that. There is so much. It's annoying because sometimes the information is at the start truthful and kind of half true, but then it gets very twisted and turned to make it all seem so sunshines and rainbows. And I get it, you know, you got to kind of sell the dream, whatever. I completely understand that, but the actual advice is what may work for someone won't work for someone else doing the same thing, and there's just so many different variables that go into it. That's why, again, the information I put out is helpful to everyone, but then just know this is the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot more to unpack. That's why we help people inside Web Agency Club. That's all. Yeah, that's kind of it though, guys. I don't think I have anything else to add. I appreciate you kind of, what's the word? Is it a monologue, or is it a monologue at the end? I don't know, you can tell I'm not very smart with that type of stuff, but we can make money from an agency, so happy days. But yeah, to sum up, just wasn't very content with the path I knew that I would have had to have gone on for the rest of my life, and I thought, no, that is total bullshit. We're not doing that. Saw an opportunity, but most importantly, took action. It doesn't matter how many YouTube videos you watch. It's very important to have the information, but if you don't finish watching this course, and I don't expect you to watch it in a full setting, sorry, I cough when I talk a lot. That means I need to shut up, but just take action. That's what I'm saying, guys. You need to take this information, actually use it, and actually put it to work. All right, let's get into the video now. Thank you for listening to that, by the way. Now, before we start pitching clients on websites, we have to make sure they are the right clients, the right ICP, the right industries, the right niches. Now, I've already gone over this quickly in a video, so we're going to be very brief, but most web designers target the wrong businesses for high-ticket websites. So, I'll briefly touch on offer. That's what we're doing this whole time, okay? We aren't trying to do like a low ticket and then recurring offer. I'll get into kind of that stuff down the track, but we are doing high-ticket websites. So, think of cafe owners, new startups, broke coaches, and people that are just looking for a basic brochure site. They will never really be paying 5K plus for it. But what actually define what high ticket actually requires. So these people have high customer lifetime value. They have high margins in their business. There's a clear monetization path. There is capacity problems, not traffic problems. And we can do paid ads, or at least just a willingness to run them. Okay, so think of a roofer. They make 15K per job, right? We're talking like proper rebuilding roofs, and they can justify paying 5K for a website. But think of a barber. Now, not saying they won't pay that for a website, a lot do and a lot should with booking systems and stuff, but they're charging really, like $40 per cut. And at least in your pitch, it's a bit hard to justify, a $5,000 website for that business. So with that being said, these are the best high ticket niches. So you've got roofing, solar, legal, cosmetic clinics, and med spas is always that one you hear of, so I've got to chuck it in. And why do these work? work. Now, obviously, any others can if they fit this criteria. These are the main ones I like, and this is because 1 to 2 clients can pay for the entire project. So what they pay you, especially if you're running ads and doing kind of recurring systems and marketing and ads for them, it is very clear that there is an ROI there, okay? It is a lot harder and especially more stuff to track if we're working with businesses that sell low-ticket websites. I am not saying you shouldn't do outreach, you shouldn't try and pitch them if an opportunity comes this way, comes to you, turn them away. Absolutely not. I'm just saying keep in mind, we want to try, if we can, to go for the high-ticket niches. Now, a lot of people then say, oh, okay, cool, I'm going to get into real estate and dentists, but just be careful. Just know, well, firstly, real estate's, anyone that does stuff with real estate knows they're a pain in the ass to work with, but also kind of dentists, and I guess you could say this about law firms. It is pretty hard to get through to them. They've already usually either a franchise or got some sort of system, and even though, yes, they can get them more customers and be better, it's not as simple as talking to a business owner and boom, all right, we'll pay, website done. It goes a lot deeper into their back-end services, so just keep that in mind. Trades like roofers, solar, house remodelers, that should have been on here. House remodelers, because that can be anything, bathroom, kitchen, they are the best, just something to keep in mind. Now, let's get into how we actually find these leads. Now, first of all, I'm going to break this down into 2 sections. The first section is how you find the leads. The second section is how you outreach to the leads. So there are fucking so many ways to find web design clients, doing outbound, doing inbound. Once you have a bit of a foundation, that all kind of stems off in different things you'll find as well. But these are just some of the main methods that I've seen a lot of success with personally, okay? This is just going off real life experience, what I've seen work. Now, first one, this is a pretty cool one that people don't know about, and it's called Google Dorking or Google Dork. And you can use ChatGPT to help you find specific codes you put in, but basically you are going to put in a code, whether that's like Instagram or Facebook or any sort of website, and you can put in a keyword, so plumber, roofer, nail salon, law firm, and a location. Now, different things you'll see on ChatGPT have like different types of like targeting ways of finding things, so you kind of got to play around and see what works with you and what works in your area. Basically, we are looking for, so right now, Instagram plumbers in Melbourne that either have Gmail or Outlook or Big Pond, so an email in their bio. Reason being, I have personally found that a lot of businesses that actually put their email inside their bio don't have a website. Now, I've already gone through and had a look at one of these, so I don't know if it's the first one or the second one. And again, not every single one of these links, but a lot of them are, so yeah, look at this, perfect. So here, they have their email and they have their phone, which is perfect, but remember, I'll tell you how we do our proper outreach, and chances are, if it's not linked, they don't have a website. So you can go down the rabbit hole, you can put in different things, you can put in law firms, you can put in, all right, let's go Sydney now, you can do the same thing. So we can go nail salon and just heaps, all right? And actually, I might jump onto Instagram now. So say you find a page, whether through Google Dork or just using like the search bar, a similar page, you can do now the Instagram rabbit hole method. So basically what's going to happen, you can do this on phone or laptop. What I do, what's pretty handy, is you don't have to always sit down for like an hour at a time and smash it all out, especially if you're using the one platform. Reason being, you can get stopped for like bam and get blocked temporarily. So if I'm like, say, at an appointment, I got 10 minutes, or waiting for a coffee, got a few minutes, whatever I'm doing in between like my day to day, I'll just go on my phone, and this is usually the main method I go to. So I'll find a profile, it's usually not hard, that's kind of in the niche or somewhat near the niche, and you hit this similar accounts button, and basically it's going to pull up all of these pages that are similar and suggested. Now remember, this is kind of a qualified page, man, because it doesn't have a website. Doesn't mean every single one will, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to click on, all right, go to the next page, you're going to do the same thing, all right, you're going to either outreach and you're going to go down the rabbit hole. If you hit a dead end, or you start to find pages that are maybe getting into a different niche or not really qualified to what you're trying to sell, you can just go back one or two and then go down a different rabbit hole. So that is so far using Google Dorking and using Instagram, okay? The next one is using online directories. Now there's a few different ones. There's like Yellow Pages, there's Yelp. They're the main ones. Yellow Pages is bigger in Australia. Yelp's more of like an overall worldwide, everyone kind of uses it. A lot of businesses are listed on here. And just a quick tip, guys, we don't just have to, because a lot of these, in fact, a lot of the clients that I sell web design and marketing services to already have some sort of website or some sort of URL. And that's good because firstly, well, they see the importance of it. They have the website, they've got a domain already set up. They know it's important for marketing. It's easy to get in contact with them. And they usually have budget as well, okay? And it's also easier go in your pitch when, again, I know right now, I'm sorry, going off track, it's just finding leads. But you can point out things they're doing where they're actually losing money, whether it's proper lead capture systems, this thing here doesn't show authority, this thing is broken, this page isn't working on mobile. All these things you can point out in your pitch, because remember, we're always trying to do a free value. So you can go on to literally everything, which I love. So let's just say, all right, we're going to go for heating and air conditioning. Sure, why not? And yeah, you can kind of do some filters and some different stuff. But you can scroll through. Usually I go to like at least a 6th or 7th page. But remember, guys, and this will be the same for Google Maps when we get to it, these first few pages are probably always getting outreach to, or the most kind of common or popular ones that are pretty established. We want to go to those kind of middle-sized businesses at the moment. So ones will pop up. Sometimes they don't have a bunch of information, and usually you just click open and boom. So this is perfect. So they don't have a website and they do have a number. I would go ahead and I would cold call them. Okay. So just quick tip, whenever you're searching in any sort of directories or maps or whatever, don't go to like the first few, just scroll down a little bit. Just to give you an example. So one might have a website like this. You can go on, and also that's kind of like a landline. So that wouldn't be qualified anyway. Let me give you maybe a better example. Let's find a business that has a website, but it's shit. Just to give you an example, I don't want like a very established business. Yeah, so that's a landline one. I just want a classic one. I probably should have planned this a bit better. I'm literally doing this as I go, guys. Like, this is literally what I would do to find leads. Like, yeah, once you get yourself in the rhythm of finding leads, it just, especially with like Instagram rabbit hole, whatever, you just go and go and go. Come on, give me one that's just a website and oh, come on. All right, let's do yellow pages. So all of those are qualified leads, of course. I just wanted to find a website. So yeah, we'll go plumbers. That would be fine. And you can let's go like Sydney or something. That's a pretty nice broad area. We'll get heaps of results. Let's have a look. Yeah, so over 2,000 results, and you do have some filter options, but there's not really that good. So again, scroll down, we'll go to like, yeah, you just go next a couple times. We do not want to hit these first few most of the time, so get out of this bitch. Let's go. I'll probably do one more, guys. 1 second. All right, starting to get into pretty good territory right now. So you will see, you can go more info, and some of them, remember, it depends on what country you're from. These ones landline, I'm not calling it because it's not the business owner. This is the actual business owner's bloody thing. So you can, again, you don't have to do one method of outreach. I'll get to that, but you don't have to just cold call or just text. You can go, all right, email, text, call, hit them all at once. I'll show you what we do. You can take a look at their website, and this one, I mean, as a website, it's better than nothing, but look how shit this is, right? Like, the only lead capture is contact us. You can tell this is an extremely outdated website. In fact, it says 2021, so odds are hasn't been updated in 5 years. So there you go. You can point out so many things on there. Anywho, you can go down. We're probably not even, like, I probably should have skipped a few more pages. There are some, by the way, some lead scraping tools depending on what you use, where you can find these. Now, again, I know some have websites, but I just show you then, even if it says website, it means nothing. And a lot of the time, people get put off on you got to take this away, guys. So Facebook, directories, whatever, a lot of the time it will say view website, or they'll have a website linked, and it's just to the Instagram or Facebook. So don't go, oh, fuck, I've lost my opportunity there. They've got a website. Odds are, honestly, like at least 30% of the time, it's either to like a social media account or an unconnected website, all right? So these are perfect right here. So these ones, landline, you guys get the point though, right? So this one, no website at all. And as you keep getting another no website, and they even establish it for landline, another one. And look, I've like taken barely any time to do this. So spend a little bit of time, get in the rhythm of it, and you will see that is super easy. All right, let's move on to the next one now. Facebook, my G, I love Facebook, all right? Now, I'm on like my business, like my agency account, and I'm already, it's not my personal stuff, so I'm always in groups, it's always sharing shit, and I always kind of like just go on and I see posts and I reach out. But you can go into business groups like Facebook, or another tip is also don't go onto the actual group, but go onto the kind of community pages, like go niche down into a suburb, because all of the time you have business owners that are posting in there that aren't really established and probably not on anywhere. They're probably not on Google Maps, not on Facebook, maybe don't even have a counterpart from Facebook, but they think here and there, all right, I'm going to post in groups and it's going to get me work, which it doesn't, but that's what they do. So, yes, you can post these services in here, but this is more, again, to find leads that you can outreach to. So you can go through, you can have a look. I'm not in the best group. Let me show you some groups I'm in, and I'll just go into one. So this would be an example of like, I don't know if this is a good business one. I don't know what my good ones are. So yeah, there's like a hair salon. A lot of them, again, aren't very established businesses, but people post their shit in here. Yeah, like these guys that do lawn care, all that stuff. stuff, but you can go to proper like business pages and you can see people that are like listing the services on here. On the bigger the group, the more kind of spammy shit and it gets a little bit harder, but obviously the volume's there. That's why I say niche down into those like suburb community groups. And a lot of businesses have this like business Monday or Tuesday, like a one day in a week where they let everyone post or comment on a post, and everyone kind of shouts out their thing. So just go through it, guys. I didn't really find any great examples right now, but I've got like heaps of fucking groups I go through. This one's usually a good one, this one. But yeah, I'll go through, I'll see what's going on. Geez, there's a lot of spam in here now. For example, like this, all right, construction, hop on their account. They've obviously got a pretty small account, only a few hundred followers, but still fairly established, and you do your outreach, all right? Next one, moving on. Classic one, I didn't want to start with it, but it is like still elite. Yes, these are the businesses that are getting outreach the most and always getting leads scraped. But you can be smart of the areas you target. Again, I kind of got a little bit of an advantage in Australia, but doesn't mean anyone in the world can't target Australia as well. You might just need to get an Aussie number. And again, especially if you're doing Instagram or Facebook, when we get to actual outreach, it doesn't matter. This is just for finding leads. But say roofers in Perth, as simple as that, okay? Going down and same thing we did on the online directories. We are going to scroll and just kind of go through the first couple of pages, and you'll already start to see all of these that have, like here, they have directions but no website. And that's literally it. But same thing, guys. I would take a look and have a look at what website is actually linked. And yeah, that's about it. And also reviews. A big one's reviews. Like, they'll have a website, but why do they have 3 reviews? If they are a legitimate company, they should have the review kind of system set up. So this website, yeah, see, shit. Very, very hard to read also. Like, what is this, man? Come on. Which, see, look, and they've posted their only 3 reviews. And one of them, oh my God. Seriously? Okay, well, this is the good pitch. So these people have their reviews on their website, which you would think is okay, but they have no filtration system. So they get a 2-star review and it's on their website. They are, oh my God. You see how fucking easy the barrier to entry to find these websites is, guys? And I'm sorry, I'll go off this website. I don't want to rip into them too much, but what is that? You're putting your bad reviews on your website. It's bad enough it's on your Google business page. Here we go. No website, lead, call them, whatever. Simple, guys. Simple, simple, simple. There are so many ways to find leads. It is crazy. And this is only the generic ways. Inside Web Agency Club, we have our proper kind of inbound systems. This is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? Because you got to kind of start off with this and understand the whole systems before you try and do scale tactics, otherwise it won't work. Now, another one, underrated, hear me out, okay? I'll say like business events. You go, oh, business events, no, I live here and I don't want to do that. But guys, if you're in a position in a country where even if you have to drive a few hours to go to an event, like where I am, we don't really have stuff, we usually have to go to Sydney, but there is business events and also online business events in a way. There's usual like kind of seminars or areas for networking. You need to find a place where you can network. Now, the amount of opportunities that have come up, not even just some business events, but just going around, walking and talking to, being in situations where other business owners are, you can get connections and that goes a long way. Even a few conversations where you think didn't really go anywhere, I've had like a year later opportunities then pop up, whether it's directly through them or a referral of someone they know. We've been making thousands of dollars and that's led on to other referrals and other upsells and other things. So it goes a really long way. And you are selling a service, like you got business owners there that sell all type of things, but your service basically can help all of these different business industries and niches, whatever. So it is a very, very, very good and unique kind of client acquisition method if you're in an opportunity to try and do it. And I think it's good, guys. Like, you want to run a real business. That's what I'm always trying to push. This video is kind of, you know, getting your first few clients, whatever, starting up your web agency. But to really scale a business, you got to go do some IRL stuff. You want to talk to some people, you want to network, you want to really establish yourself and build up that authority, guys. So I'll leave it at that. Business groups, if you can, please definitely check it out. It actually is worth it. Now we're going to get onto an interesting one. This isn't another Google Maps thing, but it is the agency outsource method. So now we're kind of getting into, all right, this is how you outreach, and we're about to move on to that section. But how this works, and you may have heard of me talk about it in the past, is we can team up with video marketing agencies, or really, I guess, any type of marketing agencies, and we can kind of offer them to do a partnership. So usually video people, you know, they're going around to businesses, and they're getting marketing content that they can use on different things. But a lot of the time, and I've spoken to a lot of high-end video companies where they're working with big brands that are spending a lot of money on them, but the distribution and the marketing, it gets nowhere, and it's just sitting on their YouTube with 20 views for ages. And it's like, well, okay, that's not good. Now, you can pitch it in a few ways. You can say, hey, look, by the way, like I've actually got some people in that area I've done websites for that are interested in these services. Are you happy to maybe swap over some leads? And you can kind of just have a partnership where you're sending each other leads. Obviously, you may not at the start, and that's okay. It's just kind of to get a response and kind of pitch them, because either way, you're offering value. Now, even if they don't want to directly just refer their leads to you, which first, even if they're not making any more money off it, they technically are, because this is now a new distribution platform where their work, their video content can be seen by more people, gets a business better results, and they can use that for their own testimonies and growth. But the idea is they kind of use you, and you want to make it sound like a better opportunity, all right? So like you can make more money by outsourcing website and marketing services to me. I will take care of everything, and you can take a small commission as well. So for example, they may charge their client $4,000, pay you $3,000. They're making $1,000 for doing absolutely nothing. You're taking care of everything, and it is a win-win-win, okay? Because having good content mixed with good marketing, with assuming you have the overall good foundation of a business, I mean, that's just kind of no-brainer success, right? So all you need to do, now you can use all of the methods I mentioned. I'm just on Google Maps right now, but just finding video marketing agencies, not even on like Maps, but just going through the websites, right? And a good thing for outreach, and you can do this with businesses if they currently have a website as well, rather than going onto like the mobile or the email, you can usually, and this is good because for them, they always read it because they have to check their leads, right? And I'll help you with the script and that. This website ain't really loading though. You can go through, like their contact form on their website, which is a really good idea. It must be my Wi-Fi. Fucking man, every time I do this, Australian Wi-Fi gives me the shits. Here we go. So yeah, you can go in here, and a lot of them, they might even say already they do web design. Sometimes they do, but other times they just say a bunch of shit. Okay, here we go. Finally, so you can go in to contact us, whether they already say they offer it or not. This is obviously a very established one, but just to give you an example. So this is definitely my Wi-Fi. Is this just a website? There should be a you know what I'm getting at. You're going through the contact form on the website, okay? Now, the last method for kind of finding leads, and I'm not really touching on this because, again, this is what we help people in Web Agency Club do. You need to have your foundation in place, but paid ads. I mean, paid ads is everything. It is predictable. Yes, you need capital up front. But I mean, the amount of money that has come in for not just web design agencies, but every business. And this is what we do with marketing systems. That's usually all off the back of paid ads as well. So, this isn't a paid ads video. This is, finding clients, outreaching, and kind of building yourself up. So you have capital to be able to invest in stuff like this, but just know, I got to add it in because it is the most powerful client acquisition channel to get web design clients. But that's it, guys. At the end of the day, there is some others that excuse me, I didn't really touch on because these are the main ones. Some of them are a bit more generic than others. Just to fly through a few more, there's the expired domains method. I've got a video dedicated on it, I think. Basically, it's how you can find websites where the domain has just expired or gone outdated or something, and you can basically follow it up. Now, I've got some clients that way, and I had someone message me, not even inside Web Agency Club, but he said, let me just check I'm right. Yeah, so I watched your video about the expired domains, caught up a bunch of guys, and already got an appointment for this week. And he only started 2 weeks ago, and he's got a sale as well. He's got some closes. I don't know if you can see that. I'm only on my laptop thing, but shout out Neil, really good work, bro. Just taking this YouTube advice and getting some stuff from it. So expired domains, but again, there really is no right or wrong. You just got to find leads. You can use different AI or kind of like lead capture tools, and then maybe you get it in a sheet and you can fire through with your outreach. But now let's go into, all right, we have found leads, whether you're finding them and outreaching as you go or you're putting together lists to outreach later. How do we actually outreach them though? Now onto doing the actual outreach. Now, first of all, it doesn't really matter what you do, like in terms of Instagram DMs, in terms of the touch point to talk to them. Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, cold call, cold text, email, although I wouldn't really recommend email as your main thing. I would do it like, say you're sending it to their accounts and their phone number, may as well send it to the email as well if it's easily available. Or if you're doing paid campaigns and you're sending them at like a mass scale, then yes, that is very different. But I wouldn't just try and do outreach through email specifically. Oh, another one is through their current website contact form. As I just mentioned, it's very easy to get through because they see it as a lead. Now, I am going to show you a few secret scripts. This is actually from Web Agency Club, so you're welcome. But it's all about doing value first. Now, I kind of used to say this as well, like, oh, say you will do a mock-up for them, but I've kind of changed my opinion on that. We are doing a mock-up for them, and no, yes, you're probably thinking, oh, well, that's easy, lovable AI, but why waste credits and do all that for a shitty looking vibe coded website? Honestly, everyone knows what is and isn't vibe coded these days. No, all you're going to do is you're going to go to framer.com. We're going to go into this a lot more in depth later on. I'm going to show you how you do the service delivery, and I will show you how you properly deliver everything with systems, and you can do mock-ups. But even if it's paid, all we're doing is we are getting photos to send. So let's say, for example, we're just doing Instagram, Facebook, and we might also send it to their text message. We are going to get a few screenshots of the website, and we are going to send it through. Now, what's very important, you don't have to use Framer, by the way. You can just Google templates. In Web Agency Club, in fact, we have an outreach site mockups folder for like a bunch of different industries that you can steal. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But what is important is no matter what, and I guess I can show you an example for, say, this one here. This isn't really kind of used for industry we would talk to, but Framer has very nice sites, by the way. As long as you make sure, so usually it's a trade business, as long as you make sure none of the information is specific to like a certain location, a certain phone number, I would probably quickly change like the name of like the template as well. Nothing that just shows, like obviously it doesn't have to be fully customized because we are doing this once for the industry and you can do a few variations, but when we are then sending that out. We aren't doing this every single time. Don't get that confused. We aren't doing this every single time for every single one outreach. No, that is a waste of time. What we are doing, but also it's not good enough to just say we will do a website, a mock-up for them, an offer. We just want to send it straight up, okay? Really lead with free value. But what I'm getting at here is just make sure, guys, for example, sometimes it has like a fake, like a phone number. Make sure it's not that. Make sure it doesn't say a location it's not in. It's okay if it's fairly general advice, like they don't expect you to know everything, but you get the point. Now, you can either send it as photos, or if you like, again, you can do a loom. You can do this for each outreach and make it personalized and point out issues on their current website or setup, which is good. Or you can do one for an industry or a few variations and send it out mass. You can play around with it. You can use Loom and inside Framer, which I'll show you exactly how we use it. It seems complicated, but it's easy. You can pull up the website and you can just do a quick minute or two screen record actually going through the site. Usually in mockups, you just need the homepage or home and contact, just show it works. Cool if you show the systems as well, which we'll get into how you show like lead caption, what actually gets results, not just a basic contact form. But when it gets to outreach, that is the main idea. For actual scripts, now this is kind of, as I said, I've changed it to more, we're not offering if they want to see a website, we're showing them. But this is more for like, also like cold calls as well. I know I say like IG and cold text, but kind of like a generalized thing. So, for example, hey mate, are you still currently in business? I couldn't see a website link. Just came across your page and for practice, we built you a full professional site. Don't say you're down, check it out, and you can just send it right there. Another one is if you're doing cold text, obviously, you're going to take advantage of how they can't see your, on Instagram and Facebook, they know, oh, whatever web design is messaging them. Right now, they think it's a lead. So, hi, is this name from business name? This is also good because when you get a response, you know who you're talking to. You don't have to then make a contact to everyone you talk to and keep on track of it. Then you get a response and then you can pitch. You can also do this for Facebook as well. So, hey name, just came across your business on Facebook. I know you see the importance of an online presence by posting in groups, like obviously that's how you found them. To get work, however, you don't have any sort of website or system linked, which is where the leads actually come from. So for practice, built your site, you know, it kind of is the same thing. So if it's an outdated site, you can point that out. This is an example if it's like the agency outsource method I mentioned. So looking at a video marketing agency, and kind of offering to team up with them. So something like this. So, hey team, I've seen your agency pop up here and there for a while now, and I've always been impressed with the way you present your marketing/services. I noticed that out of all the offers you promote publicly, web design isn't one of them. Whether you offer it on the side or not, I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself. Remember guys, you can call them and do this as well. I just said, I'm a fellow Aussie web developer, and I've worked with numerous credible businesses and large profile creators worldwide, and I'd love to explore ways I can help your clients, as web design obviously goes hand in hand with marketing services. For example, I work with agencies that outsource projects to me directly, or if it makes sense, bring me on as a lead web designer team member to expand your service offering without the overhead. So meaning like they can use you and outsource, and they're not out of pocket, and they can make more money on something they wouldn't sell. It's better to get a little bit of something rather than all of nothing. Just an idea. Feel free to check out my own personal site. Would you be down for a quick chat? So you can play around with that. This is, kind of like an overall, a few different pitches on how you reach out. There really is no right or wrong. The biggest thing you can do, the biggest thing to get results, especially with like usual outreach on Instagram and Facebook, isn't the actual script and analyzing it exactly, but the page that it's coming from. You can have a shit script. It may not be custom. That's the other thing, guys. It is best, especially because you don't want to stick to one kind of platform all the time. Like I say diversify how you find the leads and diversify how you outreach the leads. Because if you sit down for an hour and just spam on Instagram the exact same thing, you're going to get temporarily blocked, okay? So play around, and it's good so you don't get sick of anything. Do Instagram, do Facebook, cold call a little bit, do cold text. Again, always shoot through the email, but I wouldn't do it as a main source, and even through the website lead forms, and play around, okay? Play around with making it more customized, okay? Stuff like that. But the big thing is make sure your profile is set up. I've got some videos where I go into it. I don't want to dedicate a whole section to that today because it's not really web design related, but just know that's the biggest thing. I'm going to put it here for the outreach section. When you do your outreach, please make sure you have a credible page. So make sure we're starting off as a proper business. At least have a bunch of posts on there. Have your bio optimized. Next up, web design, my Instagram. Take it as inspiration. It's nothing crazy, but I'm pretty consistently posting. I get a lot of inbound leads through there for business. Have some highlights, have a natural brand, have a logo. It's okay. You can either put your face to the brand or you can have like a logo to the brand. That's up to you. A mistake other people make is they think, oh, let's put out value content. And the whole feed is just like a Canva background with some text on why you need a website, but they don't actually show websites. Even if you haven't worked with any free or paid clients before, this is another thing. You can get templates, even if they're not yours, all right? You can change them a bit. That would be best. And it doesn't have to be for real business. I made videos where I do like a mock-up business, and I show, hey, if this house remodeling, we're doing a full start to finish. So business, social media, website, set up Google Business, do a dashboard, running ads, all that stuff. But you can do a simplified version just on your highlights, okay? So getting photos or a little video looks cool as well, with the animations pop up and scrolling, and add that to your highlight reel and say portfolio, whatever. Make sure you do stuff like that. That will be the best kind of ROI, spending some time on that than spending heaps more time, even if you're doing more outreaches than someone else who good quality leads with a good script, okay? Just so you know, obviously the more customized and the more looms you do compared to normal text from a bad account, the more chance you have of succeeding. So this is, yes, a numbers game and volume, but also quality of how you find and outreach leads, and also the page or the person that it's coming from, okay? So just keep that in mind. It is time now to learn how we do our mock-up. So the upfront value that we actually send in the first touch point of the message. So in the pitch, as I said before, when we're doing the outreach, we aren't saying, oh, do you want a free website build? Or we can do this for you. Or, hey, we've already built you a website. Is it cool if we send it over? No. In the first touch point, we are going to send them the mock-up. Now, there's a few different ways we can do this, but what's important is we aren't actually doing it for every single website. We aren't building a specific mock-up, putting on the actual logo name and everything, and then sending it out. Can you? Absolutely, especially if it's so you might come across certain businesses, and this happens to me when I do outreach here and there, where it's like, okay, this is a very qualified, very maybe unsaturated, I don't think they've been reached out to. Like, I think there's a good chance that this person will see this message. Then yes, you can go into a little bit more effort. Remember, you don't want to spend more than a few minutes because volume is very important as well. but we might send them a little bit more of a customized mock-up. Now, a lot of people will say, well, no, just use AI, just use Lovable. You can do a website mock-up in minutes and then you can send it. That is true, and yes, you can do that. But what's important, and we'll get into like, the proper sales call where you go in and do the actual customized mock-up for them. This is just the first touch point. Now, to give you a little bit of insight, the whole goal is, even if you work with a few different variety of niches, realistically, there's only like you don't work with everyone. Like, you can easily make a bit of a collection. So we are going to either use templates and customize it, or use some sort of photos or resources like we have in Web Agency Club. And we are going to send photos of the website in our initial outreach or in the background of a Loom. You can use the photos or the actual live site. I'll show you how you do that to show the upfront value. Now, obviously, yes, this isn't going to be as customized as it could be, but they don't really even expect that. What we want to show is we can deliver high profile designs and make sure that 50% of the time at least, we aren't actually talking about the cool, oh, look at a website, look at what this has, look at this cool feature. No, we're talking about the back-end systems, which is actually getting them clients, okay? Anyway, we'll get into it. Now, Framer, I know, yes, you can use anything, guys, but just right now, and I'll get into how you use Framer in our service delivery. They're always ahead of the mark. They have such a big, if you go into resources and then marketplace, they have such a big library, guys, of not just website templates that are also free and look so good, but different plugins, different things you can do. If you don't have Gemini 3, I know everyone uses like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, which is great. Gemini 3, which is paid, you can use like the workshop and certain plugins and code it to get certain components with Gemini 3. We won't really get into that today, but there is so much, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to go onto website templates. Now, this depends on whatever niche you work in. The whole goal is, and we can edit this, by the way, especially if it's free. If it's paid, you can use inspect element to change a few words if that's what you want to do. We just want to make sure that we don't have any, like, obviously, yes, fine for stock images and general information, but we don't have the location, any sort of contact, like the number, or even the business name, or if it's a template, definitely just take the time to change the template. Remember, we just have to do this once, and then this template we use, we can send out to everyone in that industry. So say we're working with a roofer, we can do 1 or 2 variations of a roofer website, and then send it out in our first outreach. Yes, you can use Lovable to do this, but maybe not to the naked eye. But these days, you can tell it's just a little bit off the mark when it comes to the professional designs that Framer has. And remember, if we want to charge high ticket prices, high ticket websites, we've got to deliver a high ticket service as well. I'll just show you a few examples. Like, I will get into proper service delivery, how you go in and edit and actually, use Framer to do whatever. But like, these are dope. It doesn't have that classic, and it's easy to remove these, by the way, guys, even though it's a template. Like, yes, I'm not saying you can't do this with AI, but just the fonts and the buttons, and you can just tell if it's vibe coded, all right, even if you go in and edit it. This one's pretty basic, actually. Again, I haven't planned this. I haven't like picked out any. Let's just see. I'll just show you some of the paid ones, like how in depth they are. They have CMS collections. Even if you do e-commerce, I'd recommend you use Framer, because there's plugins where you can connect up to Shopify shit. Like, look at this. So this is like obviously some sort of car dealership, whatever. Like, it is fucking sick. Now, obviously, this would be built into the template as a CMS library, so it'd be so easy to edit. This is obviously like a high level website. But it is so cool and very responsive as well. Now, even if you like doing like fully branded websites, from the beginning, like from scratch, you don't want to use a template at all, you can just use a basic template. That way you have the typography, you have some colors, you have some pages, maybe a little CMS, you just have something to build off. It's already responsive and it is great. So you can filter it. So we can go, all right, let's do like a business niche, let's do services, and let's go pricing. We'll go free. You can also select the styles if you want as well. But remember, this is just going to be for like a little template. And so what is this for? What sort of business is it? Like this, like a plumber or something like that. That'd work all right. So you can use for free, then you can go into the editor, but we can just preview it. But inside the editor, all you're going to do, and I'll go in depth for it with like the service delivery, all you're going to do is it's super easy. You're going to change any text that's up here. Like, you can change this image, or you can even like inspect element, but you're going to get a couple screenshots, or you can use a plugin such as this one here, where it like captures the entire page. If you want to do like a full thing, it's just like just Google like full screen capture, whatever. Oh, sorry, I should have probably scrolled down first if it didn't load. Or you can tell it to stop at a certain point. You can literally get like, yeah, I should have loaded it first and went back up. But save it as an image and you can get full screen screenshots. Just a little side tip for you guys as well. But yeah, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to get like any sort of template that looks really nice. And we are either going to, and also guys, on my Circle community, web agency club, we have this as a resource, one of the resources in Outreach site mockups. So I'm not going to click on it because it's got the link, but we have like heaps of screenshots. Yes, we have all of the blueprints and whatever, but we have heaps of screenshots in our scaling roadmap, of course. Heaps of screenshots that you can already use and that are already taken. Like, and remember, this isn't like, how annoying is Shopify where if you want to use a template more than once, you got to get like licenses and pay, and it's like crazy prices. Even if it's paid, it's very affordable and you can use it in a limited amount of time. You just have a link and you can do whatever. You can send it to your clients, whatever you want. Like there are so, like even for your own web, by the way, like even for your own agency, guys, make sure you have a Framer site. This is landing pages, so that could be for anything really, but like this is that sort of like kind of, yeah, like that course vibe, I guess, just to show you, just to, because we got some time. I mean, master prompt engineering, like you can embed so much cool shit. And remember, this is all responsive. So it might look sick on desktop, but it actually works on mobile as well. But yeah, that's the goal. So then in the outreach, this is kind of touching how you outreach again. You can either have these templates and you can get, because you can get a link. You can either use a preview link if you're not editing it, or say you have to change some text or photos, whatever. Again, we don't have to fully customize it. They don't expect that. It's just to show them. And we can take the screenshots and send it through. And literally like for the same in that industry, or you can have industries lined up in a folder. What I do is I have a folder called like templates or mockups, and in my outreach, if I'm doing it on my phone, I very easily, like I do in obviously a bit of a customized pitch and explain, and then I send the photos. Remember, we're still trying to get them on a call, where on the call you can then go in and you can properly edit, you can ask them more questions, you can use their photos, use their logos, all of that stuff. Like, look at this is sick. Like, sick websites. This is why we're charging high ticket, guys. Look at this. Look at the animations. Okay, this is a free template. Even, and the good thing is, you can get parts of templates. I say I really like this. You can go into Framer, you can copy this section and paste it into another template that you're currently building, and just obviously update the typography, the fonts, whatever. This is a sick, I haven't seen this one before. This is a free website template, guys. You cannot do this shit with Lovable without it looking vibe coded. Wow, I've got to save this for one of my designs. This is how you charge 10K for a website, guys. Like, look at these animations. I can only imagine it's dope on mobile as well. Wow. Props to the developer that did this one. Who did this? How do you see? But yeah, that's about template, guys. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but obviously you can get this link right here, or you can like edit it and then get a new link, and you can just inspect element this way. And you can do a quick minute or two loom where you go through, you show them, but then obviously you can talk. Like, you don't have to show them, you can just talk. Like, hey, by the way, this is our proper lead capture systems. This is our plan for when we run ads and do marketing. This is how we do it. You can show results from your own website or other clients, whatever. It doesn't have to be the mock-up the whole time, especially when you get to doing a bit more marketing. Oh, that's a cool animation, that click as well. Marketing in the end, it's like 10% of that pitch or even sales call is showing the actual website mock-up. It's more explaining and showing the data from the ads and doing whatnot to get results. That's what everyone has to remember. You hear it a lot, but we are selling the outcome. We are selling the results. We're selling the clients, the leads, no matter what offer you have, instead of, oh, this is a website design we are selling. As I say, it's just cool to have that, like, you know, website's the front door, everyone understands. So having a web agency, that's, you know, what we're doing. But don't get it mixed up, guys. So that is how. Please use Framer. You'll thank me. Yes, it might be a little bit of a learning curve, but I'll show you exactly how you use it, especially with these templates. It's so sick. Take my word for it. And by the way, if you do use Lovable for whatever, you need just a quick, like, say you forgot to do one, you don't have anything, you just need to quickly do it. Just get a prompt, like use ChatGPT. Say, I am designing a website for this business, whatever, give me a prompt for Lovable, whatever, paste it in here, has a bit more information, explain you're going for UI, not backend stuff, you don't want to waste credits. Because that's the other thing. Yes, you usually need like a paid Lovable, well, not that as much, you should have it anyway, because we use it for custom dashboards and internal tools, which is really good with AI, rather than like actual web design stuff. But this is completely free, guys. All of it, and you can use whatever. You don't have to use Framer for the templates. You can use anything, and it's got screenshots. Any sort of in Web Agency Club, we have like Framer resources where we have like 10 plus different websites that use shit. But that is the plan of usually how we could do our templates. You can save, you can build up a library, even on the Loom. You just have it ready to go with photos or in your phone, whatever. And then the more you nurture them, the more you can customize it, or you can spend a bit more time if it is a lead that you think, all right, let's put in a bit more effort. Let's try and close them. But this is saving you. Okay, now not only are we doing a mock-up for every single web design lead we're reaching out to, but we're giving proper upfront value without, like what I just said, without having to do a mock-up for each lead. And it actually looks dope because it's a proper Framer site. Little hack for you. There we go. Now it is time for the sales call. So it doesn't matter whether you've done cold calling and you've like booked a meeting and you want to show them, or maybe you've sent them a DM and they've seen a mock-up before, then you go ahead and select a time. You kind of pitch in this the same way. Now, even if they don't go through the website and like pick a date and book it themselves, I would still recommend, and I may have mentioned this earlier, can't remember, I still recommend you creating the event inside Calendly, whether it's on Zoom, Google Meet, whatever, because then that way you know, even if you send the email for the join link or whatever, won't go into spam. Usually with Calendly, it's all sweet. Just a few tips to know though. Make sure you do not allow people to book more than usually it's like 2 to 3 days. If it's say it's cold calling and then you're booking them on a call to show them the first visual touch point of it, maximum 2 days. I have it like a little bit more spread out. Inside my Calendly, it's really easy to do. So you can add your availability. And then, for whatever reason, if you have more than one meeting for different offers or whatever, that will work, all right? What's super important now, all the touch points in between them booking the call and then hopping on the call, we're going to make sure we can do everything possible to continue to nurture, but obviously remind them. Now, a lot of people, when they do reminders, they might use, say it's like you're in the same country and you just do text message or DM. They'll send it themselves, which is completely fine. That's probably good to do at least one maximum. You should be doing, especially if it's like more than 24 hours, at least 3 reminders, both email and text. Now, inside Calendly, yes, you'll need the paid plan for this. It's like $10 a month. It's nothing. Inside, inside more options, we can set up, where are we? Notifications of workflows. So not just email reminders, but text reminders, SMS. And this has made a huge difference to our show up rate. So right now I've got like 24 hours before, 1 hour before, but we also do emails as well. This is for this offer. Again, if they're a few more days, you should be doing a lot more text messages, and you can go in and you can like edit the actual email and text, and you can nurture it, so you can make it say different things. And honestly, it's kind of good because it's a bit like like automated, and they know it's automated. So if you were to remind them 3-4 times before the call, hey man, we're good for the day, or hey man, still good, an hour later, they might have a bad taste in their mouth. So sometimes it's actually better to have it like, just the automated one. So it's like, oh, okay, they've got a system set up, whatever. And then maybe send one more right away. Like, hey man, just double checking, I've spent a lot of time on putting a few things together, whatever, just making sure I got your full attention so they can hop on. Because remember, the aim is to try and close them. Now, we'll get on to the actual pitch on the sales call, though. So, again, we're assuming that they've either seen somewhat of like the basic mock-up we've sent through in DMs, or on cold calling, and we said we want to show them. We can just skip straight to doing a proper website mock-up. So, obviously, with our outreach, and I've showed you how to do that, we're just doing mock-ups that are generalized to it can work for that industry no matter who you sent it to. It's not very customized. What I recommend doing is go ahead and still, I wouldn't spend more than maximum 5-10 minutes once you get Framer down pat. It's actually very easy to do. Doesn't take much time at all. Just like a few photos, a few text things. Usually, we're using templates that already have like high converting in mind. Sometimes, you might go ahead and you'll get a template and you will still edit it a bit more, but that's like a new template you use for everyone, because then you can just go in, change photos and whatever, but sometimes you might have to swap the actual template around if there's sections you don't like. So this is all stuff we can do as we're starting, foundationally as an agency that we can have set up to help systemize and automate a few things as well. But long story short, we're just going to make a better version of the mockup, okay? You can show like 2 different versions as well if you like. If you think, oh, maybe on design, if they like you think they'll care about it more, but that's more for working with, like video or marketing agencies. But just for a general, contractor, house remodeling, whatever business, with the websites, we're going to Framer templates here. Just as I'm talking, got something a bit better to look at. Yeah, so basically we're gonna hop on, and as for the actual pitch, basically at the start it's a bit different if you're just selling web design. Obviously we want to try and sell marketing as well. Now I'm not going too in depth how you deliver like ads and all that stuff on this course, because inside Web Agency Club we do have team and systems we implement to do that, and sometimes giving advice on certain scale tactics when you're not at that level actually hurts you and doesn't help you grow, if that makes sense. But okay, in the pitch, remember, and you'll probably hear this a lot in like sales, anything, it's selling the outcome, guys. Even if your offer is a simple website, we aren't pitching them on a website. So this will vary industry to industry. It's even better if, remember we talked about picking the right niche, like house remodeling company, their projects are going to be thousands of dollars. So even if you aren't running ads, the whole thing like kind of we're showing is, yes, we'll show the website, we'll show the cool back-end tools or whatever we do. Later on I'm going to show you, how we do the proper getting results of lead capture systems and Google reviews. All that stuff is what we will show as well. But just remember, selling the results. So you got to break it down in like an ROI standpoint. So say you're selling a website for $2,000 up front, even if it's half up front, half on completion, doesn't matter, $2,000. You got to pitch it. So asking me questions, you can, it's fine to ask, like, what would you say your average or even low end project cost is? Say, again, let's just say it's like a roofer, and they say, anywhere from, if they're doing full on like rebuilds, not just little repairs and nothing, I don't know how much it costs, let's just say 5 to 10k or whatever. So it would be, okay, fair to say lowest amount, even if it's not a full rebuild, like 4k per project, low end, right? Per client, per project, whatever. Yes, that would be correct. And then you got to break it down, and you can go and you can either show, if you've got your own website and you do have some results currently, again, it isn't required, and obviously as you build up, this is easier and easier to do sales, not just because you're getting better at sales and talking with authority, but you have more to show for it, for your own work and for your clients' work, as in like the amount of page visitors, your ranking if you're doing a little bit of SEO work, but basically showing them. But another good thing is you can show competitors. So you can Google the, so say they're a roofing company, search roofing in Sydney and go through the top, 5, 10 websites, pick out a few and show them what they're doing well. And especially if they have a website currently that isn't very good, you can compare that and say, look, not only is it, even if it is good, it is not ranked, no one can see it, whatever. So there's a few different things, and that's why I don't have like, it sounds a bit confusing when I'm telling you how to pitch, because it does depend on the industry, what current situation they're in, how established they are already. But basically you got to find, before you got to like kind of always kind of plan and write down a few notes so you know what you're doing getting into it, have a bit of a plan in place, point out all of their issues, and you want to show them the issues, and you can even make them to the issues. Like, what would you say is wrong with, this current website, or what do you think isn't working for you? Make them spell it out to you. Then go on to your competitors and then point out a few things, visually. And then you can step in with your kind of like systems knowledge and say, well, look at what they're doing to collect Google reviews. Look what they're doing as a lead capture system using lead magnets compared to us. So it's not always just scrolling through the pages, showing a website. We're actually selling that visitor experience, the results, and putting them in the position of their ICP. So it's kind of a no-brainer. And then at the end, you break down obviously the ROI. Like, look, okay, this is $2,000. I'll be straight up, whatever. Say the price. And then you kind of break down the math. So say we only get worst case scenario, like one client every few months, and you add it up and you show them what the ROI is. And then obviously, yes, as I said, if you have results, you can show them, or running ads, whatever, that's even better. You've closed it right there. But just getting them on the meeting in the first place is a very good sign. So make sure you do everything to try and close it. Another one is like a big question. Do you close the client on the call, or do you have another call and onboard them and then do the payment and everything at the same time? The best thing you can do is do it on the call. Sometimes it's harder. Sometimes for whatever reason they say they're free, but they hop on and they're in the car, and that you can't get the full attention. It's a bit harder. You need to do one more call the next day. Most of the time though, you want to try your best to close on the call at the end, because I've just found, if not literally like 50%, like your close rate will then really, really drop. And you will find it very hard. Like, let's just give you more time to think and chase about why they shouldn't go ahead with it. Especially, and a bit of objection handling comes into this as well. I have a full blueprint on that in Web Agency Club. A few different points. That's just like general sales stuff, and that's just stuff you pick up along the way as well. But yeah, so sales call, we're going to hop on, we're going to sell the results, sell the outcome, we're going to point out all of the problems, and we're going to show them their competitors, and then we're going to show them what we can bring to the table, and then we're going to do an ROI breakdown. So it really is a no-brainer opportunity, and you can do a bit of like, this is risky. This, I don't know if I would say I'll recommend it, everyone goes and does this, but it's just something you can try if you like. This is in like general high ticket sales, closing, and anything. Like, look man, like let's just get started now. I want to work with action takers as well. We have a lot of jobs we can send you your way. We want to know that you've got the traits of a businessman that can take them on, whatever, hype them up. But then say, look, man, like if we don't want to go ahead now, or they say, oh, I need to think about it, whatever, like, look, the deal's off the table. Like, we're putting in a lot of work. If you don't see the value in what we can deliver in this offer right now, then who's to say you will tomorrow when you think about it? Like, that just makes it harder for us. We're not doing this back and forth. We're working with clients that they're action takers, because we know we send them work. They have the traits as a business owner to be able to handle it, to be able to do systems, whatever, just that's like getting into a bit of sales there. But that's something for certain clients, like, look, man, if we don't do it now, the deal's off the table, or by tomorrow, deal's off the table, stuff like that. Make sure you stand by your word as well, because that helps you in the long run. But that is what we do when it comes to sales calls. Contracts and invoicing, this is something that gets really overcomplicated when it doesn't need to be. I have no idea why. Now, I know a few questions come up with like certain countries and certain tools and platforms and payment processes being available to them. There's always a way. You might have to do a little bit more research to another country, find out one that works for you, compare fees, whatever. I'll show you what I do and what most people do in most countries. But yeah, just do a bit of research. It's not hard. So I use Canva to create my invoice. Now, what I do is, unless it's like a pretty big project and ongoing, we will then do like a proper contract. But the deal is to really, you don't want to scare off your leads or clients also by sending them this big contract with all these pages and all these things. So what we do is we have 2 pages. We have a contract, and then we have what we call just we have an invoice with all the money and payment. And then on the second page, we have a lightweight contract. So this clearly shows exactly what we will do, what kind of isn't included, so it's all clear on payment, the timeline, all of our business information, everything. Once they're closed, if it is a deal with recurring stuff or whatever, then yes, then we've already got the money. We can go ahead and then send them a proper contract. We can just use like AI or PDF sign it, or there's a bunch of tools where they can just sign it and you can send it, whatever. Just use ChatGPT to do that, and depends on your offer and what you're delivering, right? Make sure that's like credible in the countries that you're in and where you're servicing. So I'll run through this full structure and what we put on here. But yeah, so just so you know, you don't have to do a big if they say, hey, like, I'd be feel more comfortable, that's completely fine. Like, sometimes they'll say that, but a lot of the time sending him a big 10-page contract with all the terms and all these little things and all these signatures can kind of scare them off, That's just what I've found. So what we do, and this is just with Canva, by the way, I have the template to this inside Web Agency Club, but also I believe if you just go onto like templates and search invoice, you can literally use any of these and you can customize any of them. I might actually switch mine up. Mine's kind of outdated now. I might do one of these. They're all pretty cool. A lot are free as well. Anyway, so some sort of structure like this. Also, guys, don't go overboard and brand it. Like, less is more. Even this, I think, is a bit too much and out there. Keep it extremely simple and to the point. I used to do these crazy, like, this is years ago when I first started out, these crazy invoices, and do not do it, okay? It's not professional at all. So, website development invoice. So, you can have the date, and then you can have the invoice number. You don't need an invoice number, but sometimes I've worked with businesses where they've actually requested it, like, oh, hey, by the way, what's the invoice number? Just because they use it for, like, their billing accounting. So, you may as well put it on there and just do whatever number. Make sure it's not one you've used before. And then details. So, issued to, business name, and then here we're going to get into how we actually collect the money, okay? So, for me, I'm in Australia. If I'm working with another Australian client, I will simply do a bank transfer. I don't think all countries, and I only just worked this out recently, not all countries do that, or I guess that's why you have PayPal or something like that. But we just put in like a little code and we can send each other. Like if I owe someone $2,000, I send them $2,000 and there is no fee at all. Other countries might be a bit different. But for example, with Stripe, I might get $2,000. Not only do I need to get that converted to Australian, but then there's also a payout fee. So I might end up, $100 short. Anyway, Stripe is the overall working with all a lot of countries and currencies and everything. It is just the easiest. So you can create a free Stripe account. You can create a pay link. There's no fee to use it. It's just obviously they take commissions on stuff. And then I just attach the link in here. So I have the payment, and be clear if it's an upfront payment. So upfront payment is half of full cost from Next Up Web Design, my agency. Completion payment is made once the project is complete, obviously. Very clear, okay? If it's like a one time or you have recurring, just make sure that is all clear on here, all right? You can also set up on Stripe like recurring payments that get automatically billed as well. Or you can, if it's like a bank transfer thing, you can set up like a recurring debit or whatever. I put one of two, so page 1 of 2, so it's clear. Now, next page, here we have our inclusions. So this will vary, but just so you see what usually I have. So fully responsive website optimized for all devices. 2, custom-made design and development to the brand's theme. Multi-page accessibility. Lead capture forms. Implementation of foundational SEO practices, including on-page optimization, meta tags, and keyword integration. Now, I'm not no SEO whiz, and yes, we do have some SEO upsells for certain clients. And all we do is, this isn't saying, okay, we're going to do SEO for you. This is just all the foundational stuff, which a lot of people do miss, and it's a shame. So for example, on Framer, and I will show you in like the service delivery part, each page you can set a proper title and kind of one-line subtext. You can also make sure you have all the logos set up. Each image has like an alt text, so kind of a word or few words or phrase you use to say what this image is. All of these things are just a foundational, basic SEO stuff, which a lot of people don't do. You should do. We do that to kind of value stack on here on our project inclusions, but also you don't want to value stack too much where it gets to the point where clients start scratching their head and go, oh, okay, how about we remove this and this and this and this? How much can you do it for now? And try to take money off. You know what I mean? So you got to have that sweet spot. We are one of the things with my agency where people might not agree with, but we are very open with revisions. So say we do a site and there's something, obviously we don't usually get much because people trust that, you know, what we are delivering is this is what we're found to be a high converting website in your industry. This is what will work. But again, we are always open to doing certain revisions, and we're not like saying, oh, you get 5 revisions or this amount of time. Leaves a bad taste in clients' mouth. So we're open to it. But we have never had any problems with it. If we did have a client that really abused that, you know, 3 revisions until we launch or whatever, that's our fault for not qualifying properly. Rights to the website content and any related design materials, and obviously launch support, so helping them get everything set up, have everything on their end, all that. Just make sure it's clear. So exclusions, they will have to purchase a domain, which is like $10 a year unless they've already purchased it for this client contract. They already have, and hosting. So make sure it's clear exactly. So don't just say, oh, it could be anywhere from 20 to 50. Say, okay, look, it's going to be either 13, because you can tell straight away based on what you need to do on the site. We're using Framer. It's going to be either 13 or 20, depending on if you do the monthly or annual. But if we do need one more CMS, which, because I clearly communicated with the client, we may need it. I made it on here, just stated it so they know. Okay, if we do need to get to that, it will be 40 to 60 a month, depending on monthly or annual. Okay, timeline 2 to 3 weeks from the upfront payment date until launch, and that is literally it. So to recap, we have, when we are closing a client, we are either going to use just a bank transfer or Stripe. You can literally do anything, okay? Just make sure you put it on the contract. Everything is clear. You're going to have page 1, the actual invoice, page 2, a lightweight contract. After that, once you've collected the money and there's no issues, you can set up a bit more in-depth contract if you would like. But to be honest, I don't always need to do that, especially if it's not a project that we are doing recurring and it might be one-off or whatever. So very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Just make sure it's very clear. You're protected, they're protected on what you agree on at the start, okay? Honestly, there's nothing too crazy. Use Canva, use whatever you like. That is how you do the invoice, payment, and contracting. It is time to learn the service delivery of Framer. So I'm going to keep this as beginner as possible. Because honestly, guys, yes, there is a little bit of a learning curve to do this, but when you start off on a template and you learn like how do we customize just the text, and little things here and there as you go, you pick up more shit. Now, just a side note, this isn't just with Framer, but with anything. If you're stuck on any sort of task or what you're trying to do, you will notice with Framer, I'll get into it, everything's kind of inside a box. It's not exactly drag and drop or any sort of tool. Just take a full screenshot of your screen, go to ChatGPT, paste in the actual photo. You should have a paid account by now. Explain exactly what you're on, what you're trying to do, what's not, just give it a full prompt, and it will give you a proper step-by-step, okay? That has got me out of so many problems. Still to this day, if I'm trying to do like an advanced little task or connect something up, anything, guys. It will explain, it will help you through it. Always troubleshoot. Like, we're problem solvers, business owners, agency owners, we're always trying to troubleshoot. Now, I went in before when I showed you how we do the mockups and how you go through, select stuff. You can filter stuff, use a free one. Obviously, we'll do that today. So let me go through and see if we can find something cool to use. I'll filter it to free. And I'll just show you guys just like simply so how to use it to do the full service delivery. We have another section which goes into how to get the actual results with proper lead capture, qualification forms, automating all of it. But let's just go through, and I might try on like a few different website examples to have like a CMS. I reckon a good one would be like a gym, maybe. They have some cool shit. Pricing free. I think I've done a like web design frame tutorial on this one before, actually, as a matter of fact. I want to do something that's cool. What does this have? So it has a homepage, remember? Yeah, does it have a CMS? Let me see. Let's not do a gym. A blog, that's all in CMS. And by the way, if you don't know what CMS is, guys, basically, say you're running like you have like a blog on your page, like say you're like a newspaper thing, and you use that exact same or very similar structure for multiple different pages. Rather than duplicating that as a whole new page and then changing the text, you have the one page with multiple different sub kind of versions of it. So you can go into kind of like a simple like, and I'll show you visually, but it has like different text boxes for each different spot, like the title, subtext, paragraph 1, photo 1, paragraph 2, photo 2, and you can just paste it in and then it will automatically go on that page and you can launch that page. So that can be good for blogs, service pages. Whenever you have like different services, you have one service page with that exact same kind of platform and then different subtext. Yeah, let's do one like that. I'll show you one like that. Sorry, I should be a bit quicker here. That looks cool, but I want to get it free. Something, what's a general kind of, because I've worked on a few of these before. I want to get something that's going to be pretty good with a CMS and a classic like this. Might be cool. Let me have a look first before I might be good enough to begin with, even if it does CMS. We'll start off with this one. So we click use for free. It'll basically copy the project to your account. So you can always go to your dashboard and you can see what you've opened. Usually like it's just saved automatically. I think you can download the Framer thing on your laptop like as an app. I'm just being always on the web. It's easy to switch between tabs. So how it works is I'm just going to do a full kind of breakdown right here. So we have, rather than switching between, it's kind of on this screen right here. You can zoom in and out. We have our desktop, our tablet, and our phone view, right? Usually templates are great because it's always responsive and you can see how it looks as you do stuff. You're always going to edit on the desktop to begin with, and usually all the changes are going to correlate down to the lower breakpoints. You can make like bigger or smaller breakpoints, whatever. Usually what's on the template is fixed and works great as well. So for example, if you just went and edited the text on the phone straight away, it wouldn't correlate to the bigger ones. It always works down. Usually that's the case, unless it's like a more of an element you're going into. So you always start on desktop, and then you can kind of work down and say some text might need to go out. You kind of change as you go along, right? Now, showing you the top buttons. So we'll start off with this one up here. The top left, Framer. This is kind of like your main action file button, like file. If you want to, honestly, you don't really need to use this at all. I don't remember the last time I've used this. Hopefully I don't get a more tickly throat, guys. As you've noticed, I've got a tickly throat today. All of these really don't use it all. This is a CMS. So they do have this. This is what I was talking about, where you can go in and you can select, like you can change the date, the text. You can edit CMS collections, make your own CMS page, and you will see that's here. So this is our main, it's like the home page. And this is it here. So this is like all of our sub pages, and you can go in between it. So here, and you'll see all this information here changes based on this, like what we type in the inputs. So using it a bit more, what you really need to know is, so we have our pages, our layers, and our assets. Now the pages, what I just used, is what you use to go between different pages. So this is our home page, got our contact page, and you can go into each page and you can hit settings, and you can change this like for SEO. So you can put in the page descriptions. If you don't want a certain page, such as like you don't want to have the contact page launch right now, you can untick these and basically make sure you hit save each time I publish. That means once your website is live and you're doing SEO, this page, although it's on your like page plan or whatever, you can still navigate to it with like if you put in that exact URL. but it doesn't show on like the Google results. So say you have some sort of paid resource or a hidden unlisted page you want to use for closing or whatever, you've got that URL you can send people. It's kind of making it unlisted though, but people can't search for it and it won't show up on search engines usually. This is kind of cool. So you've got up here, this is our main domain, whatever. So you can change the name of it, site description, this is all SEO stuff as well, of course. Here is where you put in like your logo. So you can upload that, social preview, you can remove all these ones for now, of course. Fuck off. There we go. If you have a Google Analytics, it's getting a bit in depth, but you can add basically everything inside here. You can even password protect a site if it's for like an in-house thing. Domain, this is where we connect the domains up. We'll get to that. Any sort of redirects, don't need to worry about that. Forms, plans, this is where you upgrade it when you obviously usually go for the basic ones, so you can connect your own domain. I'll explain all of that in another section. This is just using it for creating the websites. Layers, so you will notice all of these layers like text and buttons is like a box inside a box. So we can move, but we can't really drag and drop like, oh, go to the right, or, well, you can kind of, but I always Command Z to undo stuff, by the way, guys. So you will notice this box, this hero page, it will go into layers. You can see this is our hero. So this big square here, this is all a box or a frame. There's different terms, right? And then inside that box, there's another box, which is our top container, which has the text, all right? Then there's another container, which has this, all right? And you will come to understand how this works and what you do and what all these things mean. You can like kind of hide stuff. Usually the main thing as well is like, okay, we want to change the text. We can simply double click and we can type in whatever. Usually you can scroll down and there's like sometimes options here as well on the side. You can change the color of it. Even usually in templates, it comes with styles. So say you're working on a template and you're pasting in different sections from other templates, you can like create a new style or fixed, and you can like copy, like say we pasted in this, we can go, nope, I want it to our branded thing, so we can change it, whatever. Fairly simple though. So say we have a button, all right, what page is it going to go to? We can either put in a URL or another page. Here, usually with buttons, you don't change the text. You have to come down here and type it. You can change the color, do whatever. That is it. You'll see usually have a little like margin in between you can change, which is the gap you can see here as well. Size, you will come to learn. Remember guys, a lot of it's playing around. Like say we want the text to be a little bit more in, we can have on this whole box with all of these texts here a maximum width, which is already set to 960. You have different options. We can say like 500 and it will really squish it up. So sometimes say you have text on a mobile, if you add stuff in or it's pushing out of the screen, you might do that. So max width, and then you might change it. You can either have like a percentage or pixels, you say 50, and it will squeeze it up. So there's different things you can do to make it responsive. And usually when you're doing a template, that's it. So say this whole section, we don't need this, we don't need that, we don't need all that. You can simply delete it as so. And you can move around sections as well in the layers. So say we want this section above this section. I don't think I showed that properly. We can move stuff around. Pretty simple. Sometimes you'll come to layers where this is the CMS. So it's like, well, how do we change this? Well, this is actually, you can see with certain icons, you'll learn this is inside the CMS here. We have multiple CMS, so they have illegal. On the, they've updated it recently. You can only have one CMS collection on the cheapest plan, otherwise you need to pay like, you might go from 15 to 40 bucks a month. But all you do, if it's like, usually you have like a blog or services for our businesses, if they already come with legal, you can delete it, or if you need it, really all you can do is you can get the legal page and then just make it like here or whatever, just make like, just paste it into 2 pages. It's not CMS pages. It's more for services and stuff where like, you have multiple pages and it makes it easier. But otherwise, a quick fix is no use, like having a whole new more plan for a bigger CMS collection. So this is cool. So showing you how to edit stuff. So usually you don't double click on here, otherwise it'll open up to a kind of a card. So basically, you'll come across elements like this where this is all the same size, same font, whatever. If you want it to change, it will change for all of them unless you create like a different kind of component. So you can double click and you can change, say, the color of this to something else, but then just know, usually it will do it to all of them, okay? So you can create very different variants of different components. Usually it's you click and you can change the text on here on each one. You can paste stuff in. Pretty simple, right? Like usually on here, it might be a little component as well, but it's all set. These are always usually inputs on the right-hand side, but sometimes, like I showed you here, that's a component. Like here, where it's text, not a component, you can automatically change it as well. That is usually about it. Like with the photos, all right, we want to update it, click on a photo, image, choose image. If you're doing SEO, you can add alt text, or you can have a focal point. So we want it to, focus on this side. If it's a larger image, and you want it to push to a certain side, that's just fixed though. You can change the sizes of everything though. And that is really it. So you can paste in other stuff. Here's like reviews. So you can click, usually it's like changing stuff. That's what I mean. Like there's no point starting from scratch because it would take ages to get to something like this. Usually with footers and headers, like again, you just have to double click, it'll open up, and then that's where you can go in, maybe one more time, yep, and then that's our component. We can go in and we can change, we can update the logos, update the links. This is a cool font. What font is this? I like this font. Just curious. Inter, yeah, thought so. And yeah, that's about it. So you see it's all responsive, shuffles down. But just remember with Framer, if you're coming from another platform or learning web design, it's usually always like a box inside a box. And the reason why they do this is because that's how you get the really good responsive websites. And if you did like drag and drop here, if you've ever done like some sort of drag and drop website editor and you did it on the desktop, you would notice when you get to mobile, you have to drag and drop all of it again, okay? It's not very responsive. But say someone's on like a larger monitor and they go on, it'll probably look really shit. So that is why Frame is good once you understand and learn how to do it. But I'll show you like another template. How long are we going for? I just want to check. All right, that was sweet. So we can go on to... let's see, technology. This might be fun. We can do a SaaS. We'll do a free one. Just so we can kind of drill in the information. This one looks sick. Actually, no. You know what? This one looks sick. I like that. Preview it first. Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool design. That's a pretty cool design. We might use for free. We'll open this bad boy up. But yeah, guys, there is so many. Like, I recommend to learn once you've watched a few videos and you understand the controls. The best way to learn is just going in and doing it. So, and this is how you create your portfolio as well. You can start off on a template and change images, change stuff around, start to build your library, take screenshots. This is how you obviously do your agency website as well. Even at the start, if you think, oh, this is confusing or this is shit, I'm kind of use Wix or Webflow, whatever, you will come to learn. Like, you will, once you learn it, you will not regret it, right? Pretty simple. So here, all right, text, we'll change, all right, how, this is our business name. So next up, little addition, we want to change the steps of this or the images, put in whatever. It's literally just clicking guides and just customizing the template. Like, how easy is that? So say we have a business and we want to, all right, double click on this section, we'll go in here, we'll change this to my brand or the website we're doing the mock-up for, add in the logo. What I usually do as well is you can use, and with the project brief form, so the brief form where they fill out a few questions or whatever, basically, like, so you understand everything about the project and about their business, you can then use AI, and what you can do is say, this is really cool, should have mentioned this. So you can take just like a screenshot of this whole section. You can then go to ChatGPT, you can paste that screenshot in, and you can say, I haven't got a brief form because I'm just showing you as an example, but let's just say based on something like this, based on this screenshot of a website section, let's just say for a SaaS business, I'll say create a mock brand with very similar characters for each section. Replace the copy with stuff relevant to us, and you can give it more rules based on like what you're like closing and the offer. So this wouldn't be very good, but this is giving me like, so card 1, card 2, and I'll just go through. I'll copy this. All right, card 1, paste it in. Yep, boom. 2, and remember you got to mention the characters so it like knows, and you can do that and just replace all of these sections, right? Like really, really simple. With videos, you probably think, usually I'll like upload a video to the site. Don't do that because it will slow down the site and you can't even really do it on Frame. It's always embedding. You have options. Usually I just have Vimeo. I have like a Vimeo plan, pretty cheap. I have like a terabyte or 2 of storage. So for myself and my clients, I upload any videos. And you just embed it. So you can go insert, you can go Vimeo, you can paste that component, and you can paste in a link. And you have like some rules down here, what you can do. You can do something a bit more customized. You can do YouTube, so that's obviously free. You can do a YouTube video, but the thing is with YouTube videos, unless it's on autoplay, at the end, it will show, at the end it will show like other videos where they could leave, and also it has like not very good branding, even with Vimeo. That's why I just use a custom component and paste it in. With photos, make sure you're not posting like 10 megabyte photos. You always export it as a JPEG, and you have it like super low, like gigabyte or whatever storage. So all of these site speed things, these are just little notes I'm giving you now. All these site speed things add up to like SEO, is having a better responsive and fast loading site. So we understand now, usually it's like clicking and having a look or on the side. So if it ever comes up with this, we know that, if we go to edit it, okay, this is actually a CMS collection. So we can either click on here, do it directly, or we can go into the CMS and we can edit it from there. You can make it a CMS, you cannot make a CMS, it's up to you. Different frequently asked questions, we get the point, all right? Sometimes you have to go into components. For colors though, usually, not for everything, but sometimes, say you want to change it from a green to like a blue, instead of clicking on everything and changing the color, usually you can go to assets, and this is the same for like sizes of fonts, whatever. So you got the text, and you've also got color. So this is our primary color. We can click on primary color, and we can just change that to a nice blue. And then for most of the stuff, unless it's in a component, you'll see, it saves so much time because your primary color is now going to be that blue instead of the green. That's another thing that's so cool with Framer, and starting off with a template. You have your typography. So let's check on the time again. You have your typography, and then you also have your color assets as well, which are just so cool. So again, you can do the same thing with the text, like the main font. I'm assuming this is probably a big one, like the header, not everything. But you can change that font to something, and then throughout the page where that's used, the same thing will happen. But whenever you want like your preview link, you can go and you can change it and save it, whatever. But you can publish it to the web for free. Remember, this is still free. And you can go and you can edit that to something. It'll always say framer dot whatever at the end. But you can say like cam, jeanso, whatever. It will say dot framer or dot whatever. But this is free, and it will be like marked as well. But you can publish that, and then you have a link. Especially if you haven't used you don't have the template stuff showing still, you can click and you can open. Again, you can edit these titles and favicon or whatever they call the little icon, the pictures, and you can go through and look at it on the live site. You can go on that link on your phone as well. You can see, because sometimes it might look a little bit different live if you didn't do it right compared to on the editor. And you always want to check stuff, go through the navigation, make sure it all works. But that is dope. Forms, that's a good thing. I will get into like showing the forms and how you use it, but just on like Framer specifically, on the contact page. So write us a message. So you can change the options. You can say what it is, whatever. Obviously make everything required. Now the whole form button, yeah, here it is here. So I do two things. So I do send to, and then email. Put in your email and then say, oh, you have received a new lead, call them now. Make sure it's like a business email and the app on a phone where it's not filtered with any other stuff. And every time that's an email, that's a lead, and you've got to take action. It's not your bill has to be paid or not something you're just ignoring, right? Have an email specific for business inquiries. And I also go onto Google Sheets, and then what that will do, and I'll get into that with our qualifying and everything, that will send it to a Google Sheet, so I have all the data in one spot, and it's not just on emails, right? So that's really good as well. Make sure you do that to all the forms. You can customize the questions. I'll show you how we use Tally if we need qualifying questions, but these are just with the Framer forms, all right? And that is basically how you use Framer to do full service delivery. With the layers, layers switching around, or responsive box inside of a box, changing the colors, changing the fonts, changing the typing. If you need to adjust any photos, add stuff in. Remember, we can delete a whole section, we can move a section around, we can add in stuff from a different template, and all you would do is you would click on like the big section, you would copy Command C and then Command V, and you'd paste that section in another template, update the fonts, colors, whatever, make it all suit. And that is how we do our service delivery in terms of the website, with a high quality site, not getting too in depth with the actual backend systems or whatever, but high quality site in Framer using a template that you can use over and over again and just customize, change it around, get the hang of it. and it is extremely simple. There you go. Onboarding is a very important part of running an agency. Now, if you can systemize and automate a lot of it, it will save you a lot of time. That time will compound as well. Now, this is my agency custom dashboard. I will show you how you build and run and all this stuff later. But what I want to focus on right now is the project brief form. So next up, project brief form. So this is all essential information and brand assets required to begin website design and development. So these are all the things you need from a business, and I'll run through them in a second, to begin your project, okay? Rather than getting started and going back and forth, asking questions over and over, once you've got the money and you're starting the project, this is obviously you have a good enough idea already, but this is everything you will need to collect. And I'll show you how we can automate this as well, using AI into our service delivery. So technically this is touching on service delivery, but just for the onboarding part. Now, it is fine if you make this into a form, like a Jot form or Tally or whatever. You can just send it like as this form though, put your own one together, copy all of this information. Again, I'll run through it in a second. The main part though is content, whether they upload it to Google Drive or send it in a way, you just got to make sure you have the HD versions and nothing's too distorted, okay? So you should have a few of these things already, but business overview, so name and industry, detailed business information in full paragraphs as much as possible to provide strong material for copy. So what this means, and you can reword this to make it clearer, but it doesn't have to be what we put on the site exactly how they say it. Doesn't matter how they say it, how messy it is, it can just be like 100 different one-liners. We just need basically, and we'll get into services and all that, so just like in the actual business, like about them, who runs it, the background, the journey, as much as possible to work with, so we have that for strong copy. Now, yes, in terms of the offer and putting them through a funnel and converting, we already know what we need to do, and we don't need much, but just as much background as possible is very helpful. Next, we need all of their services and short descriptions of each for what's included. If they want to list their prices and packages, usually not required. Again, this is for some of these questions you won't need. Sometimes you might need to add one, but usually this is like to cover for any industry, no matter what you do, okay? Customer reviews and testimonials if available, especially if there's video ones. If they already have some sort of brand assets like logo files or a color scheme, that's helpful as well, obviously. Content, any images, videos, VSLs, contact information and all of their social account links, even if it's as simple as in the footer. You'll have like Instagram, Facebook, and you link it, just to have it there. Any functionality requirements. This is more for like the back end. Obviously, if you're selling a website, you're probably selling some sort of system to dashboard as well. We'll get into that in the scaling stage. But if there's anything that needs to be connected or synced through the website, we can have that there. The site personality. So usually, again, I probably wouldn't have this on here, because we have, again, our kind of platform. So we have our structure, we know what works and what we will do. But again, if you work with maybe a bit more of a creative agency, you need more information, you can ask, okay, do you want it to be professional, minimal, modern, corporate, etc. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we use AI. So let's just pretend, give me 1 second. I'm going to put this into AI. This is a hack, by the way. If you need any text, trying to figure out a problem, troubleshoot, screenshot, put it in AI, guys. So I'm going to upload this image we just got. I'm going to say, this is just for me quickly, guys. So this is a web design and project brief form. I want you to fill it out in depth. Obviously not content, just text and copy, for a mock-up business for a house remodeling company in Sydney. So I'm just going to get some mock-up answers to show you. So once you get, again, whether they send it to you or you have a form, all of these questions back, you can go through them. This is actually, in fact, this is a mock-up business I did. So I did a video on my agency where we built a full-up mock-up business, start to finish. We did the name, the logo, the scheme. So it's actually pretty cool. It's actually building off this. I can remember from my ChatGPT account. So Paramount House Remodeling, a Sydney-based residential renovation company specializing in high-quality home upgrades, full transformations, all this stuff. So very detailed services. So look, the more the better we can use with. So it's got all of our services in here. Final pricing, all of this stuff. So look at all these big bloody bundles and stuff. All this. Perfect. See? So having all this information at the start that you can plug into the AI you use for service delivery is crazy. Now, we do have certain prompts we use, but again, I'm just showing you from scratch how you can do it. It's very simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Say, okay, I'm starting their web design development now. I want you to give me, I'll say take your time, you can just instruct it, the full in-depth copy for all pages. And then we'll say, okay, we got a home, about, contact, services, and then each sub-service for CMS. And we'll keep it at that. So ensure you are clear with all the sections. And by the way, guys, if you're doing a template, and I think I'll show this in service delivery, but there could be a section where you're like certain characters, like 5 boxes, and you want copy rather than a big paragraph that fits. You can take a screenshot of it, put it in AI once you've done this, and it'll tell you as well. But just for now, so we have an idea. So ensure you're clear with all of the section names. I don't set layout, that should be good. This is just for copy right now. And then you can go like, you can go deep. So give me the color codes for primary, accents, everything to use for buttons, CTA, lines, etc. This is like the full website dev breakdown. And then it's going to go ahead, going to use all that information we've done. And obviously, yes, we want to make it like as branded as possible. We can go back, do some back and forth. But yeah, this is going to be crazy, guys. Watch this. Full page structure, section names, copy for each section, service page CMS, contact page, about page, color system, button CTA, all the dev notes and page layout breakdown. So positioning, brand tone, telling us what we want to do. Now, perfect. So when we're doing it in service delivery, I'll show you how we edit the primary colors on a. Remember, we're always starting on a template. Doesn't have to be in the sheet, but usually helpful. We'll just copy like the primary color, and then we'll paste it in the asset in the primary color, and every single button and whatever it uses on that current template primary color will be replaced. It tells you what you use it for. Again, you might have to do a little bit of editing. It tells you all the light colors, and this will all blend really, really nicely. So I've got all of that. All of the button system tells you what colors to use for the buttons. Perfect. So as we're doing our different assets, we literally just have to paste it in. Like, it's such a low taxing job right now because we know exactly. Gives you options for fonts. Inter's a nice font. Poppins is a nice font. So it's got that nice, like, bold, readable, clean, premium. All of the page names, everything. Stuff if you want to make for the future. And look at this, guys. So heading, it'll say, you can say like, all right, subtext, let's make this one line. You can put that in and it's still going, so I won't tell it now. But you can go through and all this shit, guys. Like different points. Like this is good. You might have a section that has like a bunch of different points. So I'm gonna go in and I'll say after like, that's great. Make each subtext just for the pages regenerate, smaller, just one line each. So you can go through, you can do everything, but it's better to have more than less. So it's using the information. So our story, it's like an about page, so why Paramount House Remodeling was built. And then it's got a very branded information, which is good. So what we value, that could be in a good section, who we work with. This is great. Obviously, if it had information in the prompt of like team members and stuff, you can do that. Final call to actions, like guys, how easy is this? It is not hard to get like, and this is the thing, you can go, all right, back on AI when you start, okay, I'm doing a thing for this and this and this, their business, whatever, give them a little bit of information, give me a header, now give me an about, but just having all of this information at the start, knows exactly what you're doing, copy, paste, very easy. It's a no-brainer, guys. So this is this isn't the service delivery section, but this is kind of how we start to do our service delivery and how we onboard. So I guess also onboarding counts as when we do the contracts and invoicing, which we were just speaking about or about to, so I'm not sure of the order. But yeah, look, it's still going. I'm gonna pause it because it's done a great job. But we have all of these different call to actions and stuff we can use as well. And that's how we do it. Do not overcomplicate it. It is very simple. Getting results for your clients is obviously one of the most important things with running an agency. It doesn't matter what your offer is, what you deliver, very important. Now, what I'm going to show you right now, this is my website, by the way. I don't think we've gone through it yet so far. I'm not sure. It's been a bit of a long course. So we have a few different systems We're not getting too in depth into like dashboards and super advanced backend right now. It's pretty simple stuff with like lead capture and that, and like Google reviews, but it goes a very long way, and this is how you can stand out and also kind of direct your pitch to make it a lot different to any other web agency where they're just selling a website. We're selling a lot more than that. So I've got a few things to go through right now. I'll show you my framer thing as well. Now on my website, so next up web design, I'll show you, like, I think we'll do a bit where we talk about the credibility and how to build it up properly. The overall kind of theme of this, and I'll show you an example on another website I just did for my friend who runs an electrician business, is lead magnets. Now, I know that sounds very simple. Everyone knows what lead magnets are. If you don't know what lead magnets are, it is some sort of value or some sort of resource that you can give away to your ICP. Again, this is for our own agency to get clients, and also what we implement for our clients in their own businesses, okay? It's this exact same structure. And basically, usually when you go to a website, you take a look and you might click get in touch and you might contact, this is actually a bit different, sorry, it might be more like a basic form. So a basic form, they get in contact or they might leave. They might look at a few things, whatever. The whole point of some sort of lead magnet, and this can be different. This can be like mine, it is a VSL or some sort of like guide. I'll show you different landing page examples as well, because we have pages that we run ads to. We have a main homepage. We have locked and unlocked versions once we get information and qualify. I will show you that. Could be a VSL, it could be some sort of price quote calculator if it's like a home service business. It literally could be anything, could be some sort of like guide, whatever. So I'm just basically going to, and also what's very important is qualifying. I'll get into that in a minute, but actually I'll explain it now. So right now, this is my homepage, but I have a few different examples. So we have a landing page, which is where we send ads to, and it's a bit more directed. So Framer's a bit glitchy right now. So it's 3 steps. So this is kind of very important for your whole landing page funnel, whatever you do, right? So step 1, watch the video below. Obviously they can't watch it. I'll show you what happens when they click on it. Step 2, book a strategy meeting. And step 3, share results like our clients. So this is just all reviews and stuff like that. Now, whether you're running ads or doing whatever, what's very important is this is a bit more directed to running ads and doing inbound rather than outreach. So we're getting a bit more advanced right now, but it is good to understand kind of the bigger picture and what we're aiming for. So we have to qualify, and qualifying is extremely important. One of the biggest ways to qualify is having the question, how much does your business make, or what's your monthly revenue per month, right? That's good enough. And again, I'm going to go through this whole entire form and the qualifying and unlocked in a second. I just got a bit to explain first so it makes sense. So how much do you make per month? Anything under 15 to 20K if we're selling pretty, high ticket and got a really locked in system. We don't count that as a qualified lead, and I'll show you what happens if they go through the form and they are unqualified. Reason being, can we still sell to them? Absolutely. Will we still follow up with them instantly? Absolutely. But if we're running ads and we're going through a landing page funnel, and this is the same thing for even just metal instant lead form, because you can do conditional logic, which I'll show you in a second. That's a question where, depending on what answer they select, has a different thank you end page. If they, you know what? Let's just go through the website, right? Okay. So it goes to kind of whether they could land on the landing page first, or they can come from a homepage. So watch video or watch guide, whatever you want to give away, some sort of lead magnet, and then they're going to have a few answers. Now, a few questions. What's very important is any sort of lead form or qualifying, unless it's onboarding, you keep it super low friction. So only the information you need. So usually like name, industry, if you work for more than one industry, phone number, emails, it's a bit useless emails to be honest. And this is a qualifying question. If you do have more questions, you can also split it up into pages. And another trick is you can get the information last. So it's like they've gone through all that effort, they want to get to the end result and get the guide, they may as well put in the name. So let's just say right now we're going to go John from Fast Flow, and they're like a plumbing industry. They might fill out, they might put in their number, whatever. Now, if they select, say, 0 to 5K per month, what happens is it will say, not quite the right fit yet. Based on your answers, your business isn't at the stage where implementing our full system would make sense just yet. That said, this doesn't mean we can't help. Expect to hear from us with guidance, resources, and the next steps. As you grow to the point where rolling out the full system becomes a smart move. Now, this is kind of it. They can't go further. They actually can't go and watch the resource. and they cannot book a meeting. That's super important, because if you're running ads and you're not doing leads and you're going through a funnel and the point it's all connected up to book a meeting, or even for lead forms with conditional logic, you aren't paying for leads, or Meta isn't thinking you're targeting leads that are making this amount of money per month. Because remember, we want to deliver a high ticket service, but we also want to charge a high ticket prices. The best clients and the easiest clients to close on 5 to 10K deals and thousands monthly recurring are the businesses making at least 25K plus per month, right? So we're going to do this again. I'm just going to show you an example, if they are qualified, what the next step in that funnel would be. So let's go, now we're going to go Jason, and we're from next up, let's just say we're a roofer, and whatever number, we're doing 20K plus per month. And you can adjust these questions, guys, it doesn't have to be exact. What it will do, and remember, either way, it's capturing these leads for us to follow up with inside a form in here. I'll blur this out because we've got information, we changed questions, got some stuff, but this is like a form here, right? I'll get to that in a second. Shit, where are we? All right. So you're a strong fit for what we do. Based on your answers, your business qualifies for our services, and you're at the stage where we can actually drive real revenue growth, not just improve a website. Now you need to schedule a quick meeting with our team, and we'll map out the exact system to turn your traffic into book calls, and then help you get it live ASAP. Time is money. Let's go. All right. They can then click continue, and it will go to the unlocked page. Now it will come up with my little kind of VSL-y type video, and we have like a full-on guide going through the actual system. It's probably due for an update, to be honest, but we have that so they can watch it, and then now this is unlocked so they can go ahead and they can go book a meeting. Little tip, I have it I'm a bit more flexible, but maximum 4 or 5 days for meetings. If you're doing cold calling and you're booking like another meeting, max 2 days. But for this type of thing, because obviously business owners are busy and sometimes times don't match up, so a lot are blocked out, don't let them book like 2 weeks in advance, guys, okay? And another thing, what's super important, I may as well mention now, is in between the time when someone books and the actual call, just pay for a Calendly plan and make sure you have not just email, it's obviously the pay plan, it's like $10 a month, not just email, but text, SMS, reminders set up, and you do like 3 to 4, because yes, you can text them, message them, whatever, but it does leave a bit of a bad taste in the mouth if you constantly go, hey man, we're good, whatever. Like, you know, if it comes from an automation, it's a little bit easier, and you can customize those what it says. Like, man, we've spent a lot of time, you know, putting these resources together, excited to show you. Are you sure there's nothing stopping you from joining this call? Like, we want their full attention, because remember, we want to try and close them as well. And that's the rest of the page, by the way. And then they'd book a call, and that'd be the end of the funnel there. Now, that is just one example of it's the main one, but like using a lead magnet in a funnel where you've just captured their information, and we've basically, at least, I may have not booked a meeting, but we've got their information where we can nurture, we can give more kind of personalized value and really impress them, call them straight away. I'll show you, like, it comes into my dashboard, my CRM, I get notified, I get an email automation, look at the information, call them up instantly. Super important, makes you stand out from your competitors. And remember, we've gone from, okay, it's a website, maybe they'll contact or inquire, or they keep us in mind, to they want to check out at least this video and the guide and see what we do, but now we have a way to get in contact with them. So again, just to show you, we have the homepage and like the locked page, which is like our landing page. I say get started. And then we have our qualifying page, and then we have our, which is like the form, and then we have our locked page, which is this one here, where they can actually go ahead and book the meeting. Another system, so again, this whole topic's on like actually getting results. So we would implement this for our clients. So here's an example of an electrician website we did from mate Hayden. The main call to action is, so do a home electrical safety check. So they can click on this, is your home safe? Find out where electrical system stands. So, and I'll show you guys in a second how you actually do this form in Framer, because it's a bit different with conditional logic. So this is a good example. So we don't get the information right away. It seems like at first they're going to get an answer straight away with calculations, which is cool. So how old is your home? Whatever, 10, 30 years, has your switchboards. This is like electrician, obviously, if I didn't mention. Switchboard being upgraded, lights, and you can do anything, like any sort of lead magnet. And we also have a little progress bar up here, which is cool in certain things, because there's a few more questions. So you can answer it, yes, submit. And then it says here, thanks for completing the electrical safety check. Based on your answers, we've identified a few things worth reviewing in your home's electrical setup. After completion of form below, we will send you results along with a quick explanation of what they mean and any recommendations needed. So I can then, I'm not going to actually fill this out because Hayden will get a notification. Actually, you know what? I'll do it now. Just say cam test so he knows. That's fine. Get my results. And then it'll say, thank you, our team will be in contact within 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't actually have to give a result, right? But Hayden now can use that information. He can go and call them up. And he can say, even if they don't really need to check, they've obviously somewhat interested in something because they've gone to the website and they didn't go to the step to inquire, but they've gone through this sort of lead magnet, you can call it, and got some sort of value out of it. And now Hayden's similar to in this sheet, he'll get a notification, CRM, everything. He can go up and he can call them and he can nurture them and try and close them on a job. So that's an example of how we would then do it into how we'd get results for our business. How we would then get results for our like contractor or whatever home service business. Another system you can implement is obviously Google reviews is very important. Very important for SEO, just for authority, for ranking, everything, right? We want to grow Google reviews. To be honest, I've kind of gone another route because a lot of my traffic, because obviously you got the big SEO guys, we're running ads on Meta, not Google. I haven't put a lot of attention into it, if I'm being honest. So obviously it's a bit not too good for me to say this, but it is very important, Google reviews at the end of the day. So instead of like having it in the notes, even like having to copy their Google review link and then send it in the chat, and say, hey, thanks for the job, whether this is for us and our clients, remember guys, same. Thanks for today, hope you're happy, here's the Google review link if you want to leave a review, blah, 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 whatever, and then they can click on it. What we do is we make an actual page, so rate your experience, tell us how we did, your honest feedback shapes how we improve and how we continue to showing up for clients like you. You can either send this manually, or you can have an automation set up to you. Now, what's cool is if they select 4 or 5-star, boom, automatically redirects in the same tab to the Google review thing, and then they can leave a review. But if for whatever reason, which you would hope not, but if they do select like 1 star, it doesn't go to the Google review form. It goes to a in-house form. So how can we improve? Thanks for being honest with us. Your feedback helps refine our process and make the next up experience better for everyone. And then they can leave a message and it doesn't go in your profile. I'm not saying they can never find a way to do it, but I think that's just a lot better way. You can set up automations. It's a lot more low friction to request a review or whatever you're doing. But this is just another example. There's a few other touch points, but this is just another example of systems we can put in place once and they can continue to work for our clients using this with the lead magnets, with traffic, even if they have low traffic. What the whole point of all these things, guys, especially if the lead magnet, is to squeeze as much out of kind of the traffic in the funnel as we can. Any leaks we want to patch up. We want to make sure any sort of traffic, we are doing our best to try and capture it and try and nurture it and push them deeper down the funnel, okay? Now, obviously with this form, so like this form here, let me go back on here. Let me just refresh shit. This isn't a framer form. So what I use, this is completely free. It's called Tally. You can actually adjust the settings similar to what I did in Hayden's, where it doesn't show the branding. It's not that expensive anyway, but obviously Jotform and some other ones are paid with this, and using like high submissions and customizations and backend automations. With same with this, it's easy to set up and connect to your dashboard and email automations and go to a Google Sheet. But I will show you how you make this form. So obviously our typical framer forms, which you may see like this, for example, like questions, like service, put in information, request a quote, whatever, or like an in-house framer form, right? What we use is we just use Tally and we embed it. So you can go to Tally. Again, this is free. You'll notice it's very easy to use. This is a similar kind of navigation to Notion if you're similar with it, but it's you'll pick it up pretty easy, guys. It's or watch more videos if I don't explain it too well, or Google, or screenshot parts, put it into ChatGPT, especially when you have different options here. I'll show you, but remember, guys, what I've said a few times in courses and videos. Just take a screenshot, ChatGPT, upload the photo, explain what you're trying to do, what the whole thing is, what platform you're on. It'll help you troubleshoot, okay? But it's like any other it's just like any other typical form creator, right? So next up, qualifying form. So full name, business name, phone, and what I've got here is, this is obviously a very low friction form, and similar this is very similar when you do your Meta ad instant lead forms. You can do it like this as well. So what's your average monthly revenue? A, B, C, D, different options. All you're going to do is you're going to click on like add on here, whatever, and there's a conditional logic. You add that in, and then all you say is when. So this question, what's your average monthly revenue, is, and obviously this one. So right now I've got it set. So anyone under, it should be much higher, but just for this specific offer, we've got a bit lower. Anything under 5K, they are unqualified. Again, we still capture the lead, but we don't let them book a call. You can change it on different forms and campaigns, whatever. Then they will jump to page 3 instead of 2. So when you add pages, we have 2 thank you pages, as simple as that. You can copy this writing, set them, tick them so they're both a thank you page. And all we do is whenever someone hits submits, every single answer will go to our, like this page here. And we read through that. And then I just add a link and that goes to the unlocked page where they can watch the VSL and book a call. Or they can just go to this page where we don't let them do that, okay? Another thing which is important just in Frame, I may not have mentioned service delivery, but when you have pages where you don't want it to be indexed on on the web, for example, our unlocked page, all you need to do is those 3 dots. So it's pretty glitchy at the moment. I don't know why today. But you're going to go to the page settings if it'll fucking let me. Hang tight. Here we go. So I'm going to go to settings on this page. And then you will see here it says search. So show page in search engines and show page in site search. Just make sure they are both unticked, save, and publish. That way, when people search your website on the web, this is kind of like an unlisted link, right? And we just set up the redirect. So the buttons on here, when they click on this, like as if they're going to watch the video, it redirects to this page. So that is a little insight of how we actually implement some systems like lead magnets, getting Google reviews. There's some other little things you can do as well, especially specific to industries for your clients, on how we can actually squeeze the most out of our funnel and get results and turn traffic into leads for our clients. Handing over a project now to a client is very simple. Now, obviously, this is still being focused on the web design side of things, and I'm showing you in Framer, but really this can be for anything. It's a very, very similar type of workflow, and it's not hard to Google or find it out, by the way, guys. Now, I will admit, with Framer, the one con, and they have improved recently, which I'm glad, but the one con is I used to, especially when I got into it, I had a lot of trouble transferring the site in a way that made it I had problems with transferring sites, and clients were getting very confused, and it's still a little bit annoying, and I still hate doing it and all the DNS and domain stuff, but it's much easier now. So with Framer, all you're going to do, and you can probably still do it this way, but in the past, what you had to do was generate a remix, whatever they called, a remix link of your project, and then you would send it to your client. Basically, what that means is they firstly go and make a Framer account, and then they open the link, and they've copied this whole project, similar to when you buy like a template, and you get given a link. They can copy the whole project to their page, and they have access to it then. Now, where the hard part is well, now I've got to connect the DNS, the domain, all that stuff. What you can do though is, and this still doesn't fix all the problems, but now, pretty simple, say this is our website we've done for a client. So it's just file, transfer project, and then put in the email. So obviously, what I do is I have an SOP. So I have like a handover doc thing. Basically, it's very clear, non-fluff, like 5 steps or whatever it is. Very clear instructions of what my client has to do. It's like, number 1, I just have the link. So go to framer.com, make a free account, easy, boom. The reason why we can't have it on our account in Framer at least is because right now, you can only have 1 card per account. So it's different if you are doing like a maintenance and recurring thing, but either way, especially down the track, if there's any problems and you want to like switch, you just want to have it all on your client's card and everything on them, right? It's just easier, and you can still set the permissions you need to do stuff. So once they have a account, that's the only step they need to do at the start. All you're going to do is you're going to put in the email and you're going to transfer, and you're going to select add yourself as an editor. Now, this is good because that means you can still go in and you can change text around. You can do everything you need to do. You probably won't have access to the actual DNS stuff, which is where, unless maybe they give you permission, which is where it gets a bit confusing. I'll run you through that though. But here's the thing that I've noticed with Framer, which is a bit tricky and it is a bit of a head scratcher. Now, this only happens sometimes, not all the times, and I'm still trying to get my head around it because Framer doesn't make it clear. And they also recently changed their plans, by the way. They used to be different. Like this one says basic, but there's one called like basic 24, which was like cheaper. So you used to be able to have more than one CMS on the cheapest plan, but it might have been more slightly expensive. Now they have a cheaper plan, but the deliverables, like what you get, is a little bit limited, and it goes from like 20 a month to 60 a month. And that's like different, obviously, if you're on annual or premium, annual or monthly. Obviously, usually go annual, it's fine. So usually I get away with just doing like the basic, like whatever the cheapest plan is for a client. Anywho, what you're going to do is sometimes clients, because you want to take all the stress off, right? Sometimes clients just then give me their Frame account login. I go and do all the DNS stuff, and I give them step by step of how they go in and connect the card up, whatever. So I say, all right, go to the basic, because we have to do this before the domain. So usually, sometimes I won't keep myself as an editor, because what happens is when you keep yourself as an editor, it charges them like hundreds more per year, because it says they have an extra like seat or an extra collaborator on the project, even though you're just like a guest editor. So this is where it's a bit of a grey area. In different countries and different plans, and in the past, it used to be all different. So what I do now is I transfer the project or give them a link. I don't keep myself as an editor at the start. I let them then firstly go and update the plan. And then I will probably get added either way, but they always like then remove me if we're done or not doing anything. This is what I mean. It's a little bit of a grey area. And I'm trying to make sense here. Basically, they'll go and update their plan with hosting on Framer. You don't need to worry about hosting. Framer is hosted in one of the best, like hosting, whatever you fucking want to call it. I don't know. You don't need to worry about it. It's very good, very secure. One of the best for SEO ranking as well. So don't need to go and buy a hosting plan. All you have is the and this is on the client's card as well, right? You got Framer, which is your hosting, and then we have a domain. A lot of people use GoDaddy. I use Namecheap because I've just found it to be the best overall. Even though yes, GoDaddy might be a bit, or even Framer, sometimes it says you get a free domain on the first year, but then each year after that is a lot more expensive. I've been caught out on GoDaddy where yes, it's very cheap the first year, but then it's like insanely expensive the years after. So just Namecheap, it's good. Usually it's anywhere from like, it's like 10 to... You usually get a code as well. Google, whenever you buy stuff. Also, guys, there's also a Framer code you can use. I think I do have an affiliate code, but that's all good. You can just Google like Framer, what is it? Framer discount codes or something shit. When you upgrade it, this is both for you and your clients, by the way. Guys, a little hack. This one didn't work because we just updated the site yesterday. This one didn't work. This one did. It saved like $30-40 on the annual plan, maybe. Just a little tip. Try coupons on anything you can. Namecheap usually, yeah, it was like $10 a year. So that's like less than $1 a month, right? So say they do the annual, $13 a month. Worked out to be under, so it's like $14 a month what they're paying for the website. Very cheap. I know people say, oh, host it on your own platform, do all that, but I like this. It's easy, right? Anywho, the domain, this is the annoying part. So usually what you'll do then, now I don't have a domain to set up, but it's pretty simple. You just have to connect once they have the domain. And again, I always get the client to make an account. Usually, guys, I hop on a call and I do it with them. I just run them through. I don't give them I have instructions for them to set up the account, but we hop on a call and it's like a little like kind of handover thing as well. So I help them set up their domain if they don't already have one. Obviously, if they have one, it's just logging in and transferring it. They can usually give you, invite you and give you roles to do DNS, or you can log in on their account, or you can log in and so I hop on a meeting with them, share screen, and run you through it. Once it's updated though, update the plan on domains. All you're going to do is you're going to like basically update. You're going to type in the domain once you've owned it. And then on Namecheap, you just got to go, or GoDaddy, whatever. It's got to go to the DNS settings. This gets a little bit complicated to stand by. Got to go to the DNS settings of that domain, and then the easiest way, because there's a bunch of codes you have to like link up and type in, there will be, and I'll show you an example. I'll say Framer domain DNS, right? I'll show you what it looks like. It'll be something like this. So it will come up with like type A, CNAME, and a few little points. All you're going to do is, it's pretty easy if you understand it, but if you're stuck, I want to make sure you definitely do it right, because sometimes on the DNS on here, it has like, their like in-build pages and different shit you might need to delete that it's not clear. You're going to screenshot this. You're going to screenshot the DNS settings. So I'll show you like Namecheap DNS settings. I might show you like an example of what it looks like. It'll look like this, right? Something like this. More like this here, right? You're going to screenshot this. Put both of them into ChatGPT, explain what you're doing. It'll say exactly. There'll be a few you need to delete. Usually just clear them all. And then you're going to go like action, add a record, and you select, okay, a record, and then you type in this, a whatever, CNAME, type in this. You might need to delete a few currently on DNS, save, and it usually updates instantly. A little bit confusing, a little bit of a fucking pain in the ass, to be honest. I don't know why it's not easier. But what this does is it connects our domain to our hosting on our Framer site, and then we publish and it's all synced up. So this is what I hate doing with clients. Always trying to find ways to make it easier, but the best way, and to make sure that no other records are on there. Like sometimes I've added in the correct records, but if my client thinks, oh yeah, I can do it easy, whatever, I always have to check anyway, because sometimes they might have left a record which was like the in progress build page, and then every now and then sometimes it wouldn't go to the website, it would go to like the loading page, like, oh, this website's in progress or whatever. So got to make sure it's done correctly the first time. Again, a little bit of a pain in the ass, but just to run through, what we're going to do is we're going to get a client to make a Framer account. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hop on a call and we're going to run through, okay, now we need to just put this on their card, go to plans, usually the cheapest, like basic, whatever. Get them to upgrade their Framer so hosting's all sorted, and then we'll go to Namecheap and buy one, or if they already have one, whatever platform. We'll look at the DNS settings, we'll take a screenshot. Again, it doesn't matter if it's on a Zoom like screen share, you can just say, oh yeah, I'm just going to check some things right now, screenshot. We'll connect it up on domain, screenshot this. ChatGPT, it'll tell us exactly what to add and remove. We don't add or remove anything on Framer. We copy these codes and paste it into our DNS settings on here. Make sure it's done correctly, save, publish, boom. We now handovered, we're all sweet. They can invite you, so they can go invite, they can put into email, full access, and then they can basically do that. Or this is where it gets confusing. You can copy project links as well, but we've got to make sure that if you are staying on the project, like you have like recurring things to do, you make sure you sort out that Framer doesn't charge your client for an extra seat. There is ways around it. It gets a bit different country to country and plan to plan. Don't ask me why. I will admit, I love Framer. Framer is the GOAT of web dev, has Gemini 3 free and components, all this stuff, amazing templates. It is a bit of a pain in the ass though. But to be fair, DNS stuff is always a bit of work, like stuff to do. But that is the handover for web design projects for your clients. I hope that made a little bit of sense, or kind of cleared out a few things. But still, again, this is the part I hate the most about running a web design agency. Once you understand it and do it a few times, it's super easy though, trust me. Systemizing and scaling. Now, I'll admit I did fuck up a little bit. I did already film this the other day. We had the course done, and then I realized I didn't have my face cam on, and I wasn't even screen recording the right thing. So we're back at it, okay? I'm not going to leave it out, because this is a super important thing. Now, yes, it is getting into like a little bit of a advanced foundational thing, but when you start having a lot more traffic come through, working with more jobs, projects, doing stuff for clients, being able to value stack, it is very important. Now, what we're doing to kind of systemize and help scale is with a custom dashboard. Now, I'm going to show you from the view of doing one for a client. This is like an example of the Mockup business. So I've got some like entries in here, some input. I'll run through this in a second. But it's kind of all fake, just a mock-up one, so it's not too in-depth. And I'll show you a few things I can on my agency. I've already showed you, like, project brief form on the SOPs. So basically, the whole point when systemizing, let's just start off with, say we're doing it for a client, is we have to not just have it as a lead CRM, so being able to automate all of the inquiries and seeing where the source is as they come in, but also day-to-day stuff and automated any sort of admin, financials, their schedule, stuff like that. So for example, this gets pretty customized, and I'll show you how you actually build this and do it as well. It's fairly easy. Let's say house remodeling business, they've got a couple projects going on at once, and they might have different staff on the field in different areas. They want to keep track of all of that, all of their expenses and income and financials, literally everything. So there's that admin side of it. So we can do stuff like, sitemap, you can have different quote and job stages, and you can have little pinpoints. I haven't added it, but where people are on the map. Obviously analytics, this is more for running an agency. So say you're doing sales calls, you want to have like your show up rate, your close rate, all different stuff, and you can like view the data. That's what I love AI for. So just for context quickly, we are using Lovable for this. You can really use Claude or any sort of AI or vibe coder builder. Now, we don't do this for our websites, but our in-house kind of systems and dashboards we do. So you do have just a dashboard page, you can have some different things on here, inquiries. Now, this is the important thing with the lead CRM. I'll explain how you connect it all up. Basically, we can have a pipeline. So from start to finish, we want a lead to go through the pipeline. And then obviously when we go into jobs and for projects, for us with our agency, it'd be like onboarding, in development, in review, live, whatever. You can go on, you can see all the information, any site access codes. Like, yes, obviously people probably have some sort of systems in place already, but it's probably everywhere. It's in their brain, it's in different notes, different codes, all this stuff. It's not automated. So the big thing is, while it might not be super needed or might not feel like it's needed right now, as we do run ads and we have a lot more traffic and different leads and different follow-ups and different things happening, it's super important. So let's just say from an agency perspective, a new lead comes in, sweet, they automatically go into this box. I just added this in, but we have the temperature, so say they're now a cold lead, whatever pipeline stage they're at, you got the business name, their name, the source, so it could come from like paid ads, it could come from a referral, could be anything, all right? We do have the option to unqualify and discard any that come in as well. Now here, when we connect it up through, say, a lead form for ads, it'll have all their information, so the phone number, email, all that stuff, right? It'll already be synced up. Say they actually, through the funnel, already went ahead and booked a call, it will automatically move them into the book section though. So that's pretty cool. We can manually change stuff as well if they show up and qualify, and different stuff like that. So you can click on it, you can see the information. Really cool. So say you have a lot of leads coming in, and they may have, because say it's just a lead form for a house remodeling business. So they call them, sweet, they've booked a proper consultation, whatever, they can move it into that stage. Or maybe they call a different lead, but they didn't answer. So I'll put it into contacted, but haven't yet, got any response. So they know tomorrow or a few hours later, they can come back, do it again. They can type the status of this lead. Again, especially if it's a lead to pay more attention to, or maybe they've had a conversation, there's a big pipeline value. You'll make sure it's on the hot stage, all stuff like that. You can see who's like uncontacted, go and filter in like tables, stuff like that. Super important to be able to automate all of the different leads coming in. So again, when it gets to like the job stage, or again, if we're doing web design projects, we can make sure, especially if they have different team members. Like we can actually invite, this isn't just an admin view, you can invite different roles and different staff, whether it's agency or business, and assign them different roles as well. Financials, like obviously income, expenses, any sort of schedule they have, so the calendar for builds. That's kind of it right now for this one. Obviously on the agency, so it's all branded to me as well, which is cool. I've got all my client information there, so I won't go into it, but even like content engine, planning all of my videos to go out, different ideas, my analytics, I can click and get my SOPs, like here that is the project brief form, pull it up really quickly. Really cool, okay? Now, how we do this in Lovable, it's very simple. In Web Agency Club, I have like a full-on, like exact blueprint and every single prompt going in depth, but it is fairly easy. So all you have to do is Lovable, that's what I recommend. Just get the pay plan, guys. You get a few credits for free per day or whatever, but like we do this once. It's like, what, $35 a month or something is what I pay Australian. And I get like so many credits, like more than I need. That's to do my dashboard, to do all of my clients' dashboards. And basically you host it, and then just make sure you have the roles set up for them. So it's as simple as doing the prompts, getting it set up. You can use AI, explain what you're trying to do. It'll give you the prompts to do that. And the good thing is, say you're doing a new dashboard for a client now, you don't have to start from scratch. All you do is you duplicate like yours or the latest one you've done, and then you reprompt it for that business, guys. Make sure obviously all the security set up. That is an important thing as well. But it's fairly easy. And what some people don't know is you can very easily, especially on Lovable, connect up some apps. So all I've got is like 2 or 3. So I've got Google Sheets connected up, I've got Google Calendar connected up, and I've got Calendly connected up. So that's how we do the lead CRM. So basically, we're building our own Go High Level in a way. So yes, Go High Level can do a lot, but 1, it's expensive. 2, it's very overkill, and a lot of business owners don't know how to use it. Sometimes the simple version customized to them and what they need is better. And that was my third point, actually. It's customize everything they need, being able to review data in an easy way, and this is accessible just from a web app on any device. Basically, all you do, there's a bit of troubleshooting. Again, I've got my guide in Web Agency Club, but you explain to ChatGPT or like Lovable Chat what you're trying to do, connect up. So what we do is whenever someone fills out a lead form, it goes, yes, we get an email notification, but it also goes into a Google Sheet. From there, if you do already have like a Zapier paid plan or whatever, you can, but there's 3 ways. You use app scripts, which is just an extension, and then you just put in a code that, like, you talk to Lovable, whatever, it gives you a code, you paste it into app scripts, and then every time there's a new entry, it'll automatically go into here. And then all I do is I do like webhook or API, whatever it is, to connect up Calendly. Again, I explain what I try to do, a little bit of troubleshooting, so that I explain if someone with the same name or email then actually books a call, it automatically moves them from new to booked. And the last one is Google Calendar. So it also doesn't just show up on here, but it automatically shows up on my schedule inside inside my lovable kind of meeting thing here. So you can connect up literally whatever. Really cool. You can go really advanced with AI agents and invoicing and all different stuff depending on the business you're working from. But overall, either way, for you running an agency, to stay on top of even doing outreaching, and even if nothing's connected up, instead of notes or whatever, just having a way to type in different leads that you have to follow up or more important than others, on project stages, say you're doing more of a scaling and doing more of a project management role, and you have different staff on different things and you need one spot for everything. This is exactly how you do it, and it would not be possible to scale without so many headaches if you didn't have something at least like this in place. So this is a great way when we're helping businesses. We do a website, we do the systems, we do the ads. This is what we mean by systems, automating everything, making sure that, sure, we could have email notifications set up, but they might call them, not answer, they might forget. That could be tens of thousands of dollars out the window right there. Very important to have this here. And also, how much time by automating their admin tasks, which obviously you ask questions, understand their bottlenecks, automate it, put it on here, is saving them time to put into more resources, less money on staff, into doing actual jobs that make some money. That is it, guys. So super important. And then obviously, like what I've got, as you build out a team and build out systems, a part of kind of scaling is your SOPs as well. Now, I've only got a few loaded in right now, actually. Just that some staff need, but you can add them in very easy. And honestly, guys, the good thing is the opportunities and what you can do are really endless. Like, you can be as customized as possible to what you need, the way you show data, user data, different inputs. Obviously it's just on like the Lovable Cloud or whatever. It can go a little bit in depth with security and some other things and how like the large corporations do it and their current systems. But for what we're doing, just basic, high ticket websites to the sort of organizations that we're working with that aren't super, in the millions and millions, but making hundreds of thousands per year. This is exactly how we do it. Wow, everyone, a big congratulations. You have made it to the end of this course. I don't care if you watched it in one hit or you came back to it tens of times, it does not matter. The main thing is that you now have the information and the knowledge, at least on a foundational level, to go ahead and start and begin to scale a web design agency. Now, yes, there is still a lot more that goes into it. That's what Web Agency Club is for, okay? But this free course, if you have never signed a free client before, or maybe you have, but it's been very inconsistent, this is everything you need to know. Now, I want to finish off with like a little bit of motivation because yes, this can all be very overwhelming, and especially when you compare yourself to people online, maybe they started and they've already seen success or whatever it is. It can be very disheartening and you can start to lose that motivation. You got to understand, guys, business is hard. If you haven't been told before, I'll be the first to tell you, okay? Business is hard and it isn't always as easy as it seems. Yes, including myself, it does get hyped up a lot to seem like an easy business model. But like anything, you could look at any other business model, think it's greener on that side, but it's not, okay? It is a very hard thing to start and launch and maintain a business. I've said that a lot now over the last 20 seconds, but it is true, okay? But saying that, once you cross that mountain of understanding how everything works, how it works with clients, it can be one of the best things you can do as a career path. And I truly mean that. I'm not just saying that. Like, running a business is one of the most tough, but also one of the most rewarding things to do. Not just for yourself financially and to support people, but the clients you're working with, you are actually making a difference, not just in their business, but in their life. Like, we are putting the systems in place that makes them more money, and it has a really big flow-on effect, okay? The big thing I do when I try to talk and qualify people that I then put a lot of time and effort into helping build their own agency is really looking at certain traits in them. So it's not asking, where you're at now, what's your experience level, where you're from, what do you do? It's really understanding who they are as a person. If you're watching this and look, this may or may not, I'm hoping it does kind of relate to you, and you've always felt like, look, I'm really meant for something more than a traditional system, or look, like, yes, I don't really mind, I'm happy where I'm at now, but this isn't very good, like, long term, like 5-10 years down the track, what am I looking forward to? Like, maybe a promotion here or there, a bit more money, maybe a bit more flexible work hours. The most exciting thing with running an agency or business is there is so much to look forward to. Like, yes, right now you may have been in the trenches for a few months, but the rest of the year is going to be incredible with different rewards that come from that. Even like 5 years down the track, so much progress can happen. It is actually really incredible. So I could go on all day about it, but just know, guys, if maybe you're watching this and you're still stuck, you've been in the area you've been in the web design agency space for a few months and haven't really got many good results as of yet. Do not give up, keep pushing. If it's a thing of thinking of like, oh, is this thing even real or worth continuing? Yes, I promise you it is. And if you're looking for help directly from me, hit the link in the description and you can either directly check out Web Agency Club or you can DM me on Instagram at Cameron Jeans. I'll be happy to have a chat with you. We'll go through what you're currently doing. We'll sort it out. I know I put a few, obviously it's a free course. I put a few, have to plug Web Agency Club. I don't make a whole lot of money from it, to be honest. We made it as accessible as possible based on the value inside. But this is kind of a passion project right now. Like, I'm reinvesting everything back into it when I get some more high profile and valuable people in the group or different resources, because obviously the agency, a lot of different YouTubers make money from their mentorship and use that to then get some sort of success with the agency later. That is definitely not the case with me. I still, to this day, in fact, after I'm done recording this, I've got a lot of agency work to go and do and take care of so we can get paid. But yeah, check it out if you like. If not, I really hope that this actually did make somewhat of a difference for you. Obviously, a lot of time and effort not just went into recording this video. Like, yes, 2-3 hours. I don't think it's any more than 3 hours long. But the main point is, this video is meant to save you months, even years of running into obstacles or doing things the wrong way for so long that it takes an even harder and bigger effort to get out of that habit. There are just so many aspects to running a business, running a web design agency, doing it the right way. And what's even more crazy is, we've got to continue to evolve with the times as well. Different AI platforms, agents, different things are coming out. My big thing is I always want to be up to date with the times. Again, in the club, like nearly every day, we're having like breakthroughs of different things we can implement into our businesses, and it is really cool. That's it for me. Thank you for watching, guys. Go make some fucking money. Thank you and good luck. See ya.